Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Who Cares Anyway podcast right here on Dedicated Art. I'm your host, Chris Dohmen. We are live. We are rolling. And obviously, it's not just me here tonight. I got the other half, apparently, according to a guest that you guys saw in today's Schmodown reaction, apparently one of us is mom, one of us is dad. It's hard to tell who. But anyway, Kees, Cornelisse, what's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Just tweeting out the link as we speak. That was the one thing that I needed to do. I'm done with that now. Yeah, sometimes we do seem like an old married couple, and then the question really is who's mom, who's dad. Doesn't matter anyway, because who cares anyway, right?
There we go.
It is Friday night. I'm enjoying a beer. I'm in my robe. My bed is actually made, which is a neat little thing that I'll get into in a second. I'm good. I've had a good evening so far.
Absolutely, and it's funny you mention that. So why is your bed so fancily made, Kees?
Well, because in less than 10 hours, actually, I will be at the airport awaiting my the love of my life as of right now. Rena, my girlfriend, she's going to come here, and it's going to be really nice. She's going to stay here for 3 weeks, which is a record, actually. The longest that we've stayed together was 11 days, so almost 2 weeks so far. So yeah, that's going to be a great time. I'm very much looking forward to that. And I've had a nice evening. I was early off work, so I was able to get myself some beer, some snacks, and just relax. So that was fun. How was your day? How was your week?
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest, guys. My week, work-wise, has sucked. It's absolutely sucked. Because I'm now on week 2 of being a solo insurance
independent
provider.
Agent.
Yes.
I like to call it.
Independent insurance producer. And I don't know, man. Like, okay, people out there in the chat, once you show up, could you all do me a favor? Just tell me why life insurance sounds like such a horrifying thing. Is it just because people don't like to talk about death? Or what's with that? Like, there has to be a reason that I'm just not understanding, so that I can just better relate to people. But it's so okay.
By the way, you're working in sales, right?
Yes.
Look, the thing about people in sales is that people are terrified of change. They don't want things to change. If they have something,
stop the change. Any more than you can stop the suns from setting.
I know. That's a Phantom Menace reference for anyone who doesn't know that. But the thing is, with sales, I was in sales as well. I was selling energy contracts. Now I don't know how that market is in the U.S., but here in the Netherlands, there are a lot of energy providers that will just essentially make sure that you have to pay them so that they can tell your network provider in the area to give you gas and electricity. Otherwise, of course, you'll be cut off. And the thing is, there are a lot of different types of companies. Yeah, companies that provide that. However, the thing is, for some reason, people are like, if I have one, then I don't ever have to change again. And that's the same thing with everything in sales. It doesn't matter if it's life insurance, if it's energy, it's just anything. People don't want that to change because they're like, I'm good. However, what they often don't realize is what the different companies actually offer. Some actually have a really good offer in terms of price or in terms of what is good for the environment. And those are things that some people just don't care about or don't stop to realize. And that's what essentially we are there to tell them, like, hey, I'm here right now to tell you something about this. It's my job to tell you something about this. So can you just give it 5 or 10 minutes of your time to listen to it? Because maybe it's important for your life. And the thing is, just like you, I was actually convinced that what I was selling was actually good for certain people, at least certain people, not everyone, of course.
Of
And I
course.
accept that because out of like 100 people that you speak in a day, you're only going to get a few sales. However, for those few sales, you do it because you do want to convince certain people. And the issue is that just people are really fucking impossible because
Mm.
they don't want to change. They're like, I'm good. But why
They're,
are you good?
I was gonna say
They ne-
they're kind of like, I hate to use this term. They're kind of like Star Wars fans.
Oh boy, are they? Jesus Christ.
All
Yeah,
right.
no,
Okay.
yeah, no,
Okay.
they definitely are.
No. So
You
okay.
can
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
compare it to
So
that.
that was just a cheap shot there, but
No, it's a
but
cheap shot, but it's true
it
because
is true.
yeah,
So, but
people just want to cling on to what they have, what they
eh,
know, and don't want stuff to change.
but
Because
wait,
yeah,
Case, I thought Klingons were Star Trek.
ha,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we are moving on.
Yeah, we are moving on. But no, but okay, so but and before I continue on, something happened last night, Case, and you're never gonna believe this.
Oh God, what happened?
I talked to a girl.
Stop the presses. New York Times, and like I don't know what popular news. Why am I blanking on every popular newspaper?
What
Anyway,
what
any popular newspaper. Okay,
the
so
Washington Post?
Washington Post, Hollywood Reporter, anything. Just stop the presses right now. Chris Dohmen talked to a girl. This is news. This is front page news. It should be like with a really big picture, with a really big title, and a really long article because Chris Dohmen talked to a girl. So how was it?
And actually, okay, so look, it happened totally by circumstance, but literally we just started talking, and I did something that I haven't done for the first time in like 3 years, which was talk to a girl in a non-professional manner, where I just wanted to get to know them, and she actually has a lot of similar interests to me. She plays music, she loves movies, and we just got into talking about that. Now, I haven't asked the big question yet about, is she a Star Wars fan? Because I have to ease into that. I can't just jump straight in.
Okay. This is funny. There are some people who refer to the big question as I didn't ask her out, or I didn't ask her to marry me, or something like that. No, your big question is she a Star Wars
Well,
fan?
I mean,
this is fucking amazing.
Do you blame me? Because
No, I
all
do.
the
I don't.
literally all of the previous women in my life were also big Star Wars fans. So they have a bar to they have a certain bar to reach, and
But by the way, considering that how long did those women last in your life? Oh, exactly. Anyway, so considering that, maybe you should just not ask this question and keep it at that, and maybe continue with that. It's okay.
you know what? Fair enough. But so okay, yes, and as we started talking, like what I found is that she actually she has a lot of interest of what I do, and she wants to get into that, because I'm a songwriter, and she wants to learn how to write her own songs. I'm like, okay, then I will happily give you some lessons, for free, and
Lessons free.
heyo.
Yeah.
And actually, and here's the also weirdest part. All of my serious relationships in life, minus one, they were all with slightly older women.
She's younger?
She's older. So I guess this just proves that I have a thing for older women. So you know what?
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So okay. But you know what? You guys don't want to hear too much about my personal life. And Brian
No.
Jonathan
It's
Peck,
our show. We can talk about what the fuck we want.
That's true. We can.
If we want to talk about our personal life for 15 minutes, that's okay.
That's
They
true.
can suck it up.
and yes, by the way, Jonathan Peck, Brian Nussbaum, how's everybody doing? I'm happy to see
Hey,
you all in the
guys.
chat. And so okay, now we are going to start the show, and we're going to start the show by talking about what controversially might be my favorite Spider-Man movie ever.
Wow.
Dead serious. So, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the newest film from Sony Animation, whose track record has been shaky, shall we say?
Uh, that's an understatement.
That's putting it nicely.
Yeah, they've been completely hit or miss.
They've been
They
completely hit
either
or
put
miss.
up a great fucking Spider-Man or Spider-like movie, or they put out garbage.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of funny because after we got the Raimi trilogy, which, as good as most of them are, they had their moments of flaws. Or we also had, the Mark Webb films, which a lot of people did like, but Case and myself, we personally didn't.
Okay, let's correct that.
Oh, please, by all means.
There is quite a lot of love for the first one, but also there are plenty of people who don't like the first one, and the second one is regarded as garbage, which, yeah, it is. The second one is garbage.
It is. It absolutely is. So, okay. Now we have this new one. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. And for once, the story obviously has Peter Parker very much incorporated into it, but he's not the main focus. The main focus this time is Miles Morales, a character who was only somewhat recently introduced in the grand scheme of the character. And actually quite wonderfully. I am a fan of Miles Morales, Spider-Man. And seriously, I had to pull up the cast list because I have to give props to every single member of the cast. And that includes Shamik Moore as Miles Morales. This kid is about as relatable as you can get for a Spider-Man character.
That is very important.
That's very important. You have Jake Johnson, who plays the Peter Parker that who plays Peter Parker, but also I gotta make sure I get this right. Chris Pine also playing Peter Parker, which so as you can figure out, yes, it's Spider-Man from different parallel universes all climbing.
It's called Into the Spider-Verse for a reason.
Yes. And then we have Spider-Gwen, who is Gwen Stacy, played by Haley Steinfeld, and just wonderfully. Oh, man, this is her year. This is her goddamn year. Between this and Bumblebee, which, again, that's sitting in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes, which, hey, I'm excited for it.
I've literally heard that the guy directing that, Travis Knight or something?
Travis Knight, yeah. Kubo and the Two Strings.
Travis Knight saved the Transformers universe, which is a fucking miracle after all the Michael Bay shit fests.
Yes, and two more actors I just really want, or three more actors I just want to give a quick shout out to. Nicolas Cage as the noir version of Spider-Man is so amazingly funny.
Wait, so Nicolas Cage is finally in a good movie again?
Yeah.
Can I get a hallelujah?
And then Mahershala Ali, who, I swear to God, the man does not pick bad movies.
In the last couple of years? No.
No, he does not pick bad movies. He is just continuing that role. He's continuing that high rise. And then the last one. So, tell me, Case, who played Sabretooth in 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine?
So you're talking about the bullshit brother version of Wolverine that I don't consider canon, and that probably nobody considers canon, which was Liev Schreiber.
Yes. And he plays the Kingpin.
Oh, nice.
And you want to know something?
Wait, Kingpin is Daredevil.
Yeah, but okay. Originally, he was a Spider-Man villain.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But because most of his comic book appearances have been more with Daredevil and less with Spider-Man, but he is originally a Spider-Man villain.
Well, I mean, look, the on-screen appearances we know from Daredevil, because both the 2003 Ben Affleck movie and the 2015 Charlie Cox
TV show
series used Kingpin as their villain.
Yep, and Liev Schreiber is fantastic as Kingpin, and what's also
he has a good voice for that. I can imagine that.
Great voice for it, and I will say, much like with Thanos and with Killmonger, we have a great villain whose motive is completely understandable. You know exactly why he's trying to do what he's trying to do. Again, I'm not going to spoil that stuff. I mean, if you've seen the movie and you want to talk about it in the comments, I I ask you not
Yeah,
to.
but I haven't yet.
Exactly.
I have
So
to wait.
that's what I'm saying. If you want to talk about, maybe do it in a private chat if you can. But guys, this is I literally cannot name one thing wrong with this movie. Now, there are people who are saying that the animation style isn't necessarily for them, and you know what? I get it, because at times it combines 3D cell animation with legitimate 2D hand-drawn, or anime also style of animation, and it's weird, but it works. So
Well, as a big animation fan, I don't really care about that, and I never see animated movies in terms of like, oh, it's an animated movie, because I know that people are turned off by the fact that it's animated sometimes. I just like I always consider an animated movie just as a movie. If you
yeah,
tell a story, if you give me good characters, and you invest me in that story, and you make me like those characters, and you show some cool stuff with those characters, and have a story that I can follow for the entire runtime of the movie and be intrigued in, then I'm okay with it. And that's no different from a live action movie. The only thing is, animation is just a style that you can choose. But some of my
exactly.
favorite movies are
And
animated.
here it
So.
literally just crosses styles of animation. So essentially,
And that's cool.
it's just a subgenre of animation, which,
True.
again, and like Case, as a longtime animation fan, I immensely support this kind of stuff happening. So,
Yeah, that's neat.
oh, and Brian and Jonathan, you both also, yes, Brian Try Henry as crap, I can't remember if that was the dad or the uncle, but no, sorry, that was the dad. He's one of the best dads in a comic book movie I've ever seen. And John Mulaney, who provides the voice of I believe it's Spider Ham. Literally every single line he says is comedy gold. So, all right. So just to wrap up, literally I have nothing negative to say about this film.
Go fucking see it.
Go goddamn see it.
I will.
And
I have planned on it. I just needed to wait for Irina to come here so that we can watch together.
Oh, that's right. Jonathan Peck also brought up that, much like how this is Haley Steinfeld's year, this is also Nicolas Cage's year, because I totally forgot he was in Mandy, which I still have yet to see, but I've heard rave reviews about. And Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Everybody loved that, and I've yet to see it, but I hope it's actually pretty good. So, yeah.
We'll
so my final thoughts: this movie is, honest to God, a 9.2 out of 10. 9.4. Actually, no, screw it. 9.5. Let's go full 9.5.
Nice. That's a really. That's the rating for my second favorite movie of the year. So yeah, no, that's high praise.
Yeah. So, guys, go see it.
I will.
As we'll transition over to lovely old movie news, and I'm just gonna pull up the show notes real fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about comic book movies and whatnot, especially ones that are making money, I'm gonna skip past the first story for just a second, and we're gonna talk about the movie that, for some fucking reason, is making a shit buttload of money, and I don't know why. Why is Aquaman already at 150 million? This is not cool, people. I'm sorry, but this is not cool.
I just want to say that first of all, the Transformers movies make billions of dollars, and it is mostly thanks to fucking China. The power of the China box office and their questionable taste in movies is making sure that, because seriously, the movies that do well in China are like, really, you're watching that, like Venom, for example, or the Transformers movies, or in this case Aquaman, like all those movies. I'm like, well, those are movies that you can go watch in the theater. You can also watch Star Wars, but no, they don't care about Star Wars for some reason. And I'm like, well, that's the thing, I guess. Look, Aquaman it is sitting at 73% of on Rotten Tomatoes, which is surprisingly enough the second highest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes in out of all the DCU. It's only the second.
Boy, what does that say?
It's only the second fresh movie though in the DCU. So of course take it with a immense grain of salt, because this DCU just sucks. The only reason that both Chris and I want this movie to fail is because the universe sucks. The people who are dealing with these characters don't have a fucking clue what to deal with it. And we want them to break off this fucking universe that's going nowhere, because believe me, this universe will be dead before I don't know when. But it's going to be dead pretty fucking soon, and it should be dead, and we just want good movies, standalone movies, other movies that are DC, but just don't tie it into this fucking universe that's going nowhere. No one likes this universe. The only movie that is universally loved so far by people is Wonder Woman, which I don't even think is that good, to be honest. And the thing is, like, why are we still continuing this universe when, I mean, look, yes, 73%, that is a decent score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's really
but
nothing to
Revenge
write
of the
home
Sith
about.
has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than that, and
This is true.
That's only a fine movie.
Like, Revenge of the Sith is also pretty controversial, you know, and of course, Rotten Tomatoes ratings don't say everything, but the thing is just that it seems that Aquaman is not loved. It is well liked, and it is fun and entertaining enough
It's either liked or hated.
Exactly, but no one outright loves this movie, and this movie doesn't seem to be an addition to the universe that is like, oh, this is going to turn this universe. No, it's not. So don't go watch this fucking movie. Don't spend your money on it, so that we can please let this universe die, so we can just move on to good movies.
And now here's the thing, honestly, like, and it's funny that we're saying this. It's funny that we're being this preachy about it. I only mean this in the sense of theaters. Because when it's out on Netflix or something, you know what? I'll turn it on. I'll give it a watch. Because you know what? I like Jason Momoa. I like him as an action actor. I think he's pretty good.
Guys, Hal Drogo, anyone, come on.
Come on. But I'm just like with Kees. I want this movie to fail so that way we can get better films in the long run. We kill it now to save it later.
Remember the Dark Knight trilogy? Or at least the Dark Knight, which was great. That was 10 years ago. That was the last great DC movie.
Yeah. But what are you going to do? So, okay.
We're going to be a little whiny bitch about it on the internet because we have nothing better to do. That's why.
Because, guys, we're clearly paid off by Marvel. Because, you know, I'm not struggling financially because I have all that Marvel Disney money. Hey, hey, hey.
Wait. Where is it? There. Wait, give me.
Oh, my God. You still have that old joke?
Yes. I knew I had it.
Dude, okay. That thing's literally a year and a half old now. Okay,
yes, it is amazing.
We were 2 channels away from this one back then. What the fuck?
But it is amazing.
It is amazing. I have to give you that. And yes, James Wan is an incredible director, and I want him to keep getting work.
No, he is, and I want him to do well. So I am happy for him that he directed yet another competent movie, which we know he will do.
Yeah, but I want
him. Nothing against him. I just want this movie to fail because of the studio who doesn't know what the fuck to do with these characters. That's my issue.
Exactly, because. Are you kidding me? If you were going to tell me that James Wan was going to direct a horror-ish Star Wars movie...
Yes.
I will shit my pants.
Like sign me the fuck up. I'm not a fan of horror, but sign me the fuck up.
Like, dude.
Because I love Saw.
Exactly. I mean, I love Saw. I love the Conjuring films. Like, this is a director who is an instant hit. And he's going to be known 40, 50 years from now.
Oh yeah.
So,
Because despite what you might say about the Saw sequels, the fact that he created Saw and spawned 8 sequels, or 7, that's amazing.
8. Right?
No, 7 sequels. It's 8 total films, I think, in the franchise.
Shit, now I gotta. Sorry, Case. I'm gonna do this real fast. Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, Saw 5, Saw 6, and then Saw the final chapter.
3D and Jigsaw. Saw 3D and Jigsaw.
You're right. Okay, yep, you're right.
But the fact that he spawned 7 sequels off his movie.
Yeah, so the guy knows what the fuck he's doing, and he needs to be getting better work. Plus,
also,
the Conjuring franchise is,
the Conjuring.
Again, they've broken the $1 billion box office like 2 movies ago.
How many movies are there in the franchise already? 5?
Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation.
And The Nun, 5.
And The Nun, and then they'll be doing their 6th next year with Curse of Llorona.
And that's within 6 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
Also, he directed the first Fast and Furious movie that went into the $1 billion club with
Fast
7.
5 or
7. No. Justin Lin did 3, 4, 5, 6, and then James Wan did 7.
Yep, you're right. Okay, well, yes. So, again, so it's nothing against Jason Momoa. It's nothing against James Wan. It's literally just this studio who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with this franchise. So, let's move on. Yes, to actually some good news. So, Case, now refresh me, because I actually don't fully know your opinion on this movie. Doctor Strange.
Oh, I fucking love Doctor Strange. I really do.
Okay.
Like, I actually do think it's one of the better MCU movies. It definitely is in my top 10 of the MCU. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is perfect casting. I think Scott Derrickson did a great job directing it, and I can't wait to see more of him because I loved him in Thor Ragnarok, and I loved him in Infinity War.
Now, I respectfully disagree about it being in my top 10 because it's not. I think it's good, but not great. But
especially, did you see it in IMAX 3D?
Oh, of course I did. It was, again,
that is so great.
Yes, and
it was so trippy, but it was so great.
And that's why I'm a little less harsh on it, just because I didn't much care for the relationship between him and Rachel McAdams, at all.
Fair.
But the good news, the crew is coming back after Scott Derrickson has now been confirmed for the greenlit Doctor Strange 2.
Wait, but he died in Infinity War. Sorry, I can't.
I was waiting for it. So, honestly, dude, how excited are you for that? To have...
I want this. If Scott Derrickson is once again involved, if they just, Rachel McAdams, you were great in Mean Girls. Continue with that, and don't continue with Doctor Strange, please. And then get
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Now, and to be fair, I liked her in the movie. I didn't like their relationship.
Yeah, that was probably the weakest part of the movie. But I just want to see Chiwetel Ejiofor in the role that we were promised in that end credit scene in the first movie.
Yeah.
Because that sets up a very interesting villain, and I know that Chiwetel Ejiofor can deliver on that because he's a great actor. So yeah, if we have Derrickson once again directing, of course you have Cumberbatch returning. Wait, he died? Oh no, wait. Yeah, I'm very excited for that one. Hey, actually, a movie I'm excited for. Hold the presses. This is the news of the day. I am excited for a movie. That doesn't happen that often.
Exactly. Okay. So now, next one here, and actually, we're gonna stick with the comic book stuff for just a moment before we move on to all the other stuff. Okay. So going back to Spider-Verse for a moment, Amy Pascal, who was the producer of Into the Spider-Verse, is actually already developing the sequel, which I'm very happy for because it's going to continue the story of Into the Spider-Verse, but it's not just going to focus on Miles Morales. Now, we're going to get an even bigger role with Spider-Gwen. I am so happy. I'm so happy for this because again, without spoiling what her character is going through,
She's just a very intriguing character.
She is so intriguing because what have we never seen in live action Spider-Man? A woman Spider-Man.
By the way, we have not seen a different Spider-Man than Peter Parker in any of the live-action movies. So,
I mean, if you count Ned wearing the mask in Homecoming, but
no, we don't. We really don't. He just says badass, and that because he's wearing the thing. So
yeah, it's a cute moment, but it doesn't count.
No, it does not.
So
we've not seen anyone else than Peter Parker in the role. The fact that Hacks Into the Spider-Verse is focusing on Miles Morales is already a new thing. I do want to say this is a risk. Already announcing your next movie while your first one hasn't premiered yet. I mean, of course, I know you have faith in the project, and according to the reviews, you're doing well. But still, the fact that you're already announcing a sequel and focusing on Spider-Gwen, which is something we've never had, that is a risk. That is very ballsy, which makes me a little nervous but excited because I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited to see this one, and I just want more. I want more of these Spider-Man movies that are not connected. Like, the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy is connected. The Web movies are connected, and then Homecoming, of course, is connected to the MCU. Can we just get something completely standalone, which is not Venom because it's garbage, and just have a movie on its own like this that can just be good,
Yeah, except speaking of Venom, though, there's going to be a sequel because it's at...
Because it made money. Because it made fucking $800 million. That's why.
Okay.
Why? I don't know.
Now,
because it's bad.
I need to ask this to all the Marvel diehards. Not necessarily the MCU diehards, but the Marvel diehards.
No, it's Marvel, definitely. It's nothing connected to the MCU.
Why did you all hate Wonder Woman so much that you wanted this movie's box office to beat Wonder Woman's?
That's only worldwide, though.
That's fair, but still.
This is once again where China made most of Venom's box office.
Oh, don't I know it. But
I really do question the taste of China's box office appeal because some of those movies that make money, I'm like, why are these movies making money? But it's something. It's a thing, I guess.
It's something. So sadly, what are you gonna do?
Nothing.
You're just gonna.
Nothing.
Yeah, we're just gonna complain about it because that's just what we do best. Obviously, like what I'm about to do with a certain Canadian actor who is very beloved, who is very talented. But sir, why does your taste in music suck? Ryan Reynolds, listen. You have a long-standing history of mixed results in comic book movies. You started off a little rough with Blade Trinity and X-Men.
It didn't get better with
Green Lantern.
No. His role in Origins, where he actually does play Deadpool, that is actually good. But it's like a minute
until the
movie.
ending, but yes.
Yeah, but it's not him anymore. So where Ryan Reynolds is actually portraying Deadpool in that movie, yes,
it was working. It started off okay, and then it got worse as the movie went on. Sir,
so that's how that movie goes.
But here's the thing, sir. Don't defend fucking Nickelback, sir. If I may say so myself. Yes, I'm aware they are the 11th highest grossing band of all time when it comes to album sales. Yes, I'm aware that they have won award after award after award after award. But don't tell me that I'm not allowed to hate them because I hate the way that they write their songs because there is no soul to it. Because they gave up any form of artistic expression way a long time ago. Almost 20 years ago. Sorry, Kees. Sorry. I said I wasn't going to rant on this one, but
you are.
But I am. In what should have been an actually fun trailer for Once Upon a Deadpool. And I will admit, Seeing you and Fred Savage singing How You Remind Me did crack me up.
Never made it as a wise man. Couldn't cut it as... I really like that song. And
listen, Kees, you are allowed to.
No, I am. Look, I don't care much for all the behind the scenes stuff, so I don't really know a lot of. I did hear about it. I don't really care about it. I just care about like what is presented to me as an audience member, and I think that some Nickelback songs I like. But yeah, I do agree with the fact that there are just playing towards what's popular, and that's the reason that like their songs are really uninspired. I never really listened to the lyrics, and they just put something out that people like, and they know that people will buy their garbage despite of what it is. There are like a few songs that I like about from them.
And to be honest, like, I actually do like some Nickelback, believe it or not. Like, their first entire record, that's a genuinely good record. Their last record that they put out, they actually put effort into their songwriting again. And you know what? I kind of liked it. But
just how Chad Kruger has been going about his life. I know.
Yeah. I
know that's the reason why people despise him.
You know, and okay, and just one last thing before we move on to the next story. Like, I will give 100% credit to this. You know, I do admire that that they actually went for the full joke and took full advantage of doing everything they could with it. Because if they didn't, then that's almost a little more sad. So I can't even be mad for what was a great joke. So that trailer, you know what? Okay, fair enough. But yes, let's move on.
Let's.
Now, apparently I misread a story involving the director of Your Name, which was one of my favorite films of 2016. And is actually one of my favorite animated films of the decade because, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And originally it was supposed to have a live-action adaptation that J.J. Abrams was supposed to produce, but thank God that got nixed. So, yes, Kees, that was supposed to be a thing. But there is actually going to be a sequel in the works. Now, Kees, I'm assuming you haven't seen the original.
Nope.
Fair enough. So I'll keep this brief.
Yes.
I'll keep this brief. So,
as you said before the show started, I'm gonna put a few things in there that's gonna be just me, and I'm like, you know what, Chris, you do your thing. I'll just keep silent, and then we'll move.
Thanks, man. So yes, no, I'm obviously very excited for this movie because I love Your Name, and I actually do like a lot more anime than I think I've admitted to in the past, which there's nothing to admit to. It's great storytelling. But I'm a little worried, though, because I just don't want it to mess up what happened in Your Name. If, for those of you who have seen it, you'll understand what I'm saying. So we'll move on to the next story. And we have not another rant, but just something that I think I really want to get into for a moment. So Pixar's next film, Onward, which we haven't really gotten like too much detail on outside. We know that it's basically a fantasy film, which is a new territory in a way for Pixar. Like,
no, it's not.
Well, okay, traditional fantasy though is what I mean to say.
Okay,
yeah,
but
Brave comes close to that, but where we have a film with like little elves running around and like a fantasy world, that's not really their wheelhouse. So I'm actually really excited because Dan Scanlon's coming back to the studio for this one, and I haven't seen him direct a bad film, as well as the initial lead cast has been announced, and that includes Chris Pratt, Tom Holland, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Octavia Spencer, all fantastic actors. So I'm ready for this one. Okay, so
Uh,
are you ready to see Pixar tackle fantasy?
let me look up Dan Scanlon because I think I know that name. And yes, he was indeed the director of Monsters University, which is a garbage movie. Um,
Yes.
so look, Monsters University. What else? Oh, nothing else. So I only know him from Monsters University. Well, that was garbage. That's gonna be fun. No, look. Regardless of what Pixar puts out, I am looking forward to it because Pixar. What was the last movie? Coco. Oh, right. That was surprisingly fucking amazing. I didn't expect it to be that great because the trailers didn't. To be fair, Pixar doesn't do trailers too well.
No.
So yeah, that was great. What did I put out before that? Cars 3. I actually like Cars 3. I actually thought it was. You haven't
Yeah.
seen it, so you can't say anything. Um, But yeah, I actually like Cars 3. It was more like the original Cars, which I do like, and not Cars 2, which is garbage, of course. What did I put up before that? 2016, Finding Dory was a good movie.
Yeah.
2015, A Good Dinosaur was decent. Inside Out, best Pixar movie, by far. To me, at least. So, look, Pixar, especially when they have an original take on something, and they really put in cast and crew effort. Like really, they want to do something. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So with this, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want
Ooh.
to see. I want to see a trailer.
Okay, now this is actually interesting. So Brian Nussbaum brings up that he now granted this is rumor, but it could be a mix between the show Once Upon a Time, the ABC show, if you ever heard of that.
Nope.
And, okay, and I'll explain that more in a second. But it's Once Upon a Time meets How to Train Your Dragon. So Once Upon a Time is essentially like it is essentially a glorified fan fiction of all of the Disney characters, but there's two versions of them. There's the real world version of them, but then there's also the, fairy tale version of them. And it's a live action TV show that's been going on for like ever. So,
By the way, I do have to say, Jonathan Peck brings up The Incredibles 2. I hate that I forgot that because, yeah, it came out this year, and it's great. So, yeah.
oh,
Pixar, they make great movies.
it's true. They do.
They really do. I don't know about the show, and I've only seen How to Train a Dragon once, and it was okay, in my personal opinion. I haven't seen the sequel yet.
Oh.
Um, that will tie into what we talk about later. But I'm just looking forward to a new Pixar film. That's what
Okay.
else.
Okay.
Let's just move on.
I will forgive you of your transgressions later.
Yes.
In fact, one could say that what you said could be counted as treason.
It's treason.
Then.
Ah!
Yes. So, and speaking of, yes, in case you can't tell, because obviously we're big fucking Star Wars nerds. New Thrawn novel, baby. Here it comes. Thrawn Treason. Now, StarWars.com recently uploaded an excerpt of this new novel that's set to drop early next year, and I think once I'm finally caught up on both Thrawn and Thrawn Alliances, which I'll probably just download the audiobook and then listen to it like 3 times over a piece, I'm looking forward to this. Now, Kees, as the Grand Admiral of Multiplex Entertainment,
Yes, I am.
how fucking excited are you for the third book?
Yes. I am so looking forward to this. 2 years ago, no, last year, little book came out called Thrawn, and everyone was like, Timothy Zahn needs to write a book in canon that complies with everything that happens in canon. He did so fucking amazingly. Not only did he recreate the character of Thrawn like he did in his original novel,
Heir to the Empire,
Heir to the Empire.
Yep.
Which,
Dark
by the way,
Force Rising and
I've
Last
listened to the audiobook of Heir to the Empire, and it's fucking amazing. He recreated that character, regardless of what you think about him in Rebels, because Rebels, it is a little bit of a different take, but it is still Thrawn, But the character in Rebels was carried through the character in the book, and that was carried through in Alliances, which The first Thrawn novel in canon is my favorite canon novel. Alliances is still really good, but it did have a couple of moments that dragged from me. But that's to be expected, especially considering that was a sequel to a uh, three-part series, like a trilogy. But Treason, look, the first Thrawn had Thrawn on the cover. Makes sense. The second one, Alliances, had Thrawn and Vader on the cover. That's a lot more interesting because, yeah, Alliances included both the character of Vader and Anakin Skywalker. Technically the same character, but we follow Thrawn with Anakin Skywalker.
They are the same character.
Yeah, they are. But it followed how Thrawn interacted with Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars, during the Clone Wars, and how Thrawn interacted with Darth Vader a couple of years before A New Hope. The next one has the Emperor on the cover. Now, in both Thrawn and Thrawn Alliances, we have a couple of dialogue points between Thrawn, the Emperor, and Vader, and it's like the best fucking writing that you've ever witnessed in Star Wars, because like the dialogue between Thrawn, Vader, and the Emperor is so on point. It's completely in character. I hear the voices of the characters rather than I'm reading a book. I'm just hearing those voices in my head. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I want. So I want more of that. I'm so looking forward to this novel because, yeah, it's just great. And yeah, I call myself the Grand Admiral for a fucking reason because he's one of my favorite characters.
He's one of my favorites too, if I'm being completely honest. And of course, I am referring to the version that I grew up with.
Legends.
But yes, and because that version was just as great, if not, in my opinion, just slightly better, just because he was a. And granted, I'm not caught up on current Thrawn.
Look, to be fair, it's a little different in canon, but it's still the same character.
Yeah.
But it's a little the most important thing that you need to realize: the character that we know in canon is between the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. The one that we know in Legends is after the Galactic Civil War. So there is a difference because he's older in the Legends version. That's why there is a difference.
And also, in my opinion, that also makes him a little bit more refined. That makes him that much more of a dangerous tactical mind.
True. That's true.
Because, he's...
as someone who has actually read Heir to the Empire, I completely understand what you're talking about.
Yay! So...
Yay.
Exactly. So... Yes, we got that out of the way, and so now I think before we go to break... And we're gonna take our sweet time with this last story because I actually want to break this down piece by piece. I want to really get into this.
I don't know, piece by piece. Have to.
I will tear the rebels apart piece by piece. They shall be the architects of their own destruction. God, I love Lars Mikkelsen.
Yes.
Okay, so last story before we go to break. SAG. Screen Actors Guild nominations have just dropped. Awards season continues. And you want to know something? We got some damn good options here, baby. That is the bottom fucking line. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually take a little bit of our sweet time. We're going to go through all the actual film categories. Sorry, guys. Not quite caught up on the TV, so we're going to skip those.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry. We are mostly movie guys. We do like some TV shows, but mostly we focus on movies.
I mean, and to be fair, if I had the time for TV, I'd be watching a lot more of it. But
same,
I don't. So unless someone wants to give me a winning lottery ticket, then that way I can just review shit all day. Hey, I will happily do that. But until we get to that point, let's start this off with actually what I'm considering the quota like. We're going to start sort of from the bottom and just ramp it up towards the top. So, starting off, outstanding action performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture. And the nominees are The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Mission Impossible Fallout. So, Kees, I clearly know which one you would personally root for if you were in the guild.
Well, okay, this is because you've talked to me before the show. I don't think that the audience might know this. There's one winner and four other competitors, but there's only one winner. There is no other winner in this category besides Mission Impossible Fallout. If you've seen Fallout, the stunts are fucking phenomenal. If you see what the actual cast did, especially Tom Cruise, in terms of stunts in that movie, it's incomparable to most action movies because most actors these days wouldn't do this. Seriously, the stunts in Fallout, they're the most realistic that I've seen in most action movies, and I was completely blown away by it. Look, I love Infinity War, I really do, but I do think Fallout, in terms of how stunt ensemble performance, yeah, it's Fallout. Now, how Ant-Man and the Wasp got nominated, I don't know. It's like all the MCU movies got nominated.
I mean, and let's be fair though. What was the competition otherwise? I mean, Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2 was good.
The stunts weren't, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Action was worse in that movie.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's fair.
That's okay.
That's okay. But yeah, it didn't have a whole lot of competition. But if Fallout doesn't win, I don't know what I'll do.
That's all right, man. So now we're going to move up to Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture, and the nominees are...
Which is essentially Best Picture, their version of it.
Essentially their version of Best Picture, in a way. A Star is Born, Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Crazy Rich Asians. And I'm sorry, dude, but I completely agree with all five of those choices. I completely agree.
I have to say, I understand those choices. I might not agree with them, but I understand the choices considering the day and age we live in and whatnot.
Actually, well, okay. I'm actually gonna take one of those back. Sorry, but I am taking Bohemian Rhapsody back. And here's the reason why. Here's the only reason why. Is that literally, yes, the supporting cast around Rami Malek is fantastic. Problem, he just overshadows everybody too much in the movie.
That makes sense.
So it's technically not an ensemble film. Black Panther, I will 100% throw that on there because yes, it's framed like it's supposed to be just Black Panther's story, but then it quickly turns into Okoye's story. It quickly turns into Nakia's story. It quickly turns into Killmonger's story. It quickly turns into pretty much everybody else's story except for Black Panthers. So...
but the thing is, this is not necessarily performance by a cat. This is their version of Best Picture, essentially. So that
in a way,
these five will definitely be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, which all makes sense, really. I think
actually,
yeah.
And speaking of disagreeing, Brian Nussbaum actually brought something up where I think you and him would have done the same exact thing, where you would have both swapped out Black Panther for Infinity War.
Oh, hell yeah.
Here's why I disagree with that. And this is literally the only reason why. Too many characters. Too many characters and not enough screen time devoted to each character.
I completely disagree.
Now, in terms of... Now, granted, they made up for it with making every single scene that each respective character was in count. They made up for it that way.
No. I completely disagree because after 19 movies, you know exactly where every character is, and you can completely follow
assuming you've seen the other films.
Oh, come on. Have you seen the popularity of the MCU?
Assuming you've seen the other films.
That's not even an assumption.
Dude. No, literally, one of my best friends, he lives under a rock. He only just saw the first Avengers for the first time, like, last year. So,
okay.
I'm just saying for those people out there who don't pay attention. But I'm not saying I completely disagree with you. I'm just saying I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate.
Sure.
So I'm just trying to keep it fair. And actually, Jonathan Peck, I will get back to you next Friday not next Friday because we're not gonna have a show next Friday. But I'll get back to you when I finally see Vice on Monday.
I'm not sure about next week, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, let's be honest with ourselves. We're not going to do a show next week because we got Spectacular.
We'll see. Next week is going to be hectic for sure, so we're not
Yes,
entirely sure what we are going to do anyway.
absolutely. So the next category would be outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have Amy Adams for Vice, which I'm seeing on Monday. Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place, which, oh my god, she is fucking fantastic in it. Margot Robbie for Mary Queen of Scots. I probably won't see that until the end of the year, sadly. And then Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, both for The Favorite. Again, I haven't seen that yet, but I probably will see it before the end of the year. So I've literally only seen one of these films.
I have seen none of them, but like considering the perform or the nominations that Vice is getting, I'm like, can I just watch this movie like now?
I'm
Like,
seeing it on Monday. I got a screener.
fuck you. Like Christian Bale, Sam Rockwell, Amy Adams, directed by Adam McKay, written by Adam McKay. I'm like, I need this movie now. I was looking for it since the trailer, since I saw the cast, and like, I need this movie now. And I still need to wait for it, but like, oh my god, I just can't wait, and I really want Amy Adams to win this one. I just I want her to win it. I haven't seen
Yeah,
A Quiet
because
Place.
she has not won enough in her lifetime. Let's just make that perfectly clear.
That's the thing. She's been nominated for 5 Oscars and hasn't win. I'm like, give her the fucking Oscar already. You should have already in 2016 when you made the mistake of not even nominating her for Arrival. But sure, you know.
Well, you're right. Her performance in Nocturnal Animals was far better, but let's move on to Best Supporting Actor.
Drink.
Yes, that's fine. Take a drink. Okay,
Yep.
so we have Mahershala Ali for Green Book, which again I'm probably won't get around to the end of the year. Timothy Chalamet for Beautiful Boy. Oh yes, Black Klansman Adam Driver.
Yes.
Woo! Sam Elliott for The Star Is Born.
Yes. No. Yes.
Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? I've yet to see it, but okay, fine. Let's get into it, Case. Let's get into it. All right. I'm not saying Sam Elliott was bad. I don't want to. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not saying he was bad in A Star Is Born. It's just that literally, it's the same performance he's given in pretty much throughout the last 20 years of his career. I wanted to see something new from him, and I personally didn't get that. Now, granted, was it a bad performance? No.
I don't know.
No, he was
okay,
great.
Look, I said this also to Chris before the show when we talked about this. The Oscars and essentially any award show that doesn't have this category, which I think is every award show ever, should make this a category. Best Casting Director. It is a serious fucking job for people working on the movie to actually find a cast. And there is one person called a casting director that is looking for the right cast. If they know the script, if they know the people that they need for it, that they actually find the right actors, actresses to make sure that they fit well in a movie. Like a Lady Gaga or a Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born. Because let's be honest, look, I love both Lady Gaga and Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born. Their performance was indeed great. But that's not due to them. That's because the casting director knew to cast Lady Gaga and Sam Elliott in those roles. Because have you seen A Star Is Born? Lady Gaga was perfectly tailor-made for that role. There was no one else to even play that role. That's the reason why it works so well, because the casting director knew to cast Lady Gaga in that role, and same for Sam Elliott. So the casting director should get the recognition. Now, I'm not saying that Lady Gaga or Sam Elliott was bad. No, they were great, but that was because the casting director chose that.
Yes.
So, does Sam Elliott deserve the nomination? Probably, maybe. He probably won't win though. But hey, he was great in the movie.
Exactly, and again, I am not saying he wasn't. I'm just saying that it was the role that I've seen him do before, and I've seen him also do it very well before. And again, he did a great job. But let's move on to Best Actress in a Lead Role. real fast.
Oh, I don't want to say, yes, Adam Driver!
Yay!
I really hope you get an Oscar nomination because you're amazing in Star Wars, and you should get an Oscar nomination for The Last Jedi, but you didn't.
So, what are you going to do? So, outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role, we have Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Glenn Close for the Wife, and Emily Blunt, once again, this time for Mary Poppins Returns. Okay.
2 nominations. That's amazing.
Yeah, 2 nominations is incredible, and which makes me just that much more excited for Mary Poppins Returns because, oh my god, I'm going to love that movie. I'm just facing facts. I'm going to fucking love that movie no matter what.
I hope I will too.
You know, and Olivia Colman, who I love her work in Broadchurch, I'm happy to see that she got a film role she's getting this much recognition for, and I can safely say that her, Glenn Close, and Melissa McCarthy actually are probably the front runners for Oscar nomination. I can't say that about Gaga yet. I can't say that about Emily Blunt yet.
No, Gaga's going to get that nomination. I already know that. A Star Is Born is very Oscar type.
We'll see. We'll see. Brian Nussbaum brought into the comments said he personally would have swapped out Sam Elliott for Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther. And
Hell no.
I'm actually... No. I'm half with him because I would have swapped out probably...
Josh Brolin for Thanos deserves more of a nomination than Michael B. Jordan for Black Panther. Really. I'm not even kidding. Michael B. Jordan is not that good in Black Panther.
Well, we agree to disagree. As we get to the last category, and that is outstanding performance by a male actor in the leading role, and the nominations are Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Christian Bale for Vice, and John David Washington for Black Klansman. Yes. Holy fuck! I don't know who I want to pick.
Lead actor is so stacked.
It's stacked this year. Like, literally, once the Oscars happen, I won't even be mad who gets it. I won't.
Look, personally, I would love Viggo to finally get it because he's been nominated twice already. Christian Bale already has his Oscar. I don't think Bradley Cooper deserves it yet. Same with Rami Malek. And, John David Washington was great, but I don't think, someone who's seen, I've only seen A Star Is Born and Black Klansman, and I can already tell Bradley Cooper was better in A Star Is Born than John David Washington in Black Klansman. So I'm like, I don't think he deserves it, even though it's great that he gets the nomination because he was great in Black Klansman. That's fair.
Fair enough. Well, okay. So, and again, just to wrap this section up, I literally would have no argument with any of those 5 winning because I think they're all great performances. And so we're going to take a short break. And when we get back, we are going to break down the entire slate of 2019 films and just kind of give some early thoughts on what each of those films is going to do. So hopefully
I will say that there are actually movies, several, that I'm looking forward to.
Guys, that's absolutely true, and it's terrifying, but it's true. So in the meantime, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in a moment.
In a bit. Throughout the episode, I was really enjoying their chemistry. They clearly have it, and I want to see them together. But then Cass lies to her, and Tora like, "I know you. I know what you're doing." Chris, how frustrated are you?
I haven't been this frustrated since Rebels Season 3, okay? I have not been this frustrated since AP5 singing. That's how frustrated I am.
I like that actually.
Nico will not be a member of this panel anymore from this episode on. Sorry, Nico. Goodbye. No,
Doing the thing you do when you're about to play.
Being classy.
is.
There it is.
All right.
Classy
Nice.
Clark
Thank you, Ben.
getting the
That
boss
was
to
awesome.
become classy. I like it.
You
What a
know that
movement.
Ben Bateman is now drunk.
That is that's how you play with a champion. As we get going here, how does round number 1 work?
In round number 1, the field of both competitors.
That was
is
worthy
going
of a
to hear
Ben
8
Bateman
questions
tackle
from
right
8
there.
different corners of the movie Trivia Galaxy. Each question is worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing a question. There is no stealing.
I'm giving you a hug across my screen
Yes.
because you want to know what we did? We talked out our philosophies like men.
Hey, I'm part of things too.
Like,
Yay.
man,
Exactly. Come here. So
John Wayne sheds a single tear in heaven for all of us.
there we go. Amen to the Duke. So tonight we're here to talk about. We're gonna finish out the show for the next however long it takes, talking about something that we all enjoy. That is dumb action movies.
But again, there's nothing wrong with liking to compete and having fun in the game. Like, I don't blame anybody that wants to play. But, like, for Dave, it never goes his way.
He kind of surprised me with his performance in the Fast and Furious realm because, you know, A, those movies suck. Why would you bother to learn those questions in the first place? But whoa.
Michael, come on.
Come on, Michael. Come on. It's about family.
Look, when was the last time you watched Tokyo Drift? Goddamn.
Anyway. Like,
What did Khan do for the worker at the Starfleet facility to get him to blow it up for him in Star Trek Into Darkness?
he gave his blood to his daughter.
Correct for 2 points. Alright, your second question. In Final Frontier, when Kirk is rock climbing, who meets Kirk up halfway the rock face?
Spock.
Correct for 2 points.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't that... Hopefully that break actually worked because I didn't actually check the audio because I had to run to the restroom. So my apologies about that.
It did work.
Woo! Yay! So that was a nice change of pace. But so now we're back. We're going to talk about the movies of 2019. We're going to talk about what's coming up in this next year of film because... Look, it's not a secret. Case and I missed a lot of movies this year.
Unfortunately, yes.
And I even missed a lot of blockbusters. Like, I still haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I still haven't seen
Fallout.
Yeah, you know.
That's your biggest miss, really.
I know. And I've been extremely busy, but now that, you know, my life is starting to settle down a little bit, and I'm actually getting back into going back into screenings.
Yeah, the other day I get like 10 email notifications of him signing up for every single studio for him to get into all advanced screenings. And I'm like, God damn it, Chris, why do you have to do this on the D2A account? But he fucking had to, of course.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What can I say, man? You know, because here's the problem. I was signed up for half of those studios on my personal email, and I forgot my password to each one of them. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to create new accounts and just do it that way.
You are such a douche sometimes. Holy crap.
I know. But hey, and listen, guys, if I don't say this too often, but if you are liking the show, again, leave a like, leave a comment, and I appreciate every single time. But you know what? Tweet out the link, share it on Facebook, tell your friends, and let's get this conversation building up more, because that's why I created this show, because I wanted to have a conversation. And that's the other reason we do it live is because, again, I love having discussions. I love talking to you guys.
By the way, we also wanted to have a guest on this episode that didn't work out quite the way we wanted.
Nope.
But we are looking forward to more guests on this show, especially in 2019.
Absolutely. And that's going to be the main goal of 2019 is to get a bunch of guests. And I don't know when it's going to happen, But you know what? I can say this. One of our big guests that we have coming, he wears a cowboy hat. That's all the more I'm going to say. And that's going to be probably one of the most fun chats we'll ever have on this show. I can already tell. So let's get into it. Let's get into the movies of 2019, and we'll start off with, and I'm actually start us off with a question for you, Case. Now, you and I have a very complicated history, I'm sure, with M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Am I right?
Oh, boy.
But you've seen his film Unbreakable, right?
No.
Oh. Bro.
No, I know. It's like the one movie from him that I should see because it's like the one good one. Oh no, wait. There's another movie that people say I should see, and I have seen it, and I didn't like. No, I haven't seen Unbreakable.
Okay, well, then this one's strictly for me because I love Unbreakable and I love Split. Unbreakable, honestly, is in my top 5 like superhero movies ever. Because here's the thing: it's M. Night Shyamalan doing a very unexpected take on a superhero film, and it works brilliantly. Because last year he brought us a little film called Split. And once again, it blew everyone's goddamn mind. And spoiler alert, it is technically a spin-off of Unbreakable, as Bruce Willis's character does make an appearance at the end. So now we have Glass, the movie that will combine all 3 characters from his Unbreakable series, that being Bruce Willis's character, as well as Mr. Glass, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Kevin, played brilliantly by James McAvoy. Seeing all 3 of these characters in the same film together, there's going to be some carnage, and I'm fucking looking forward to it. And you know what, Case? It might not be for you. I'll just be straightforward, man. But
this is the exact reason why I haven't seen either Split or like Breakable yet. I just don't think it's for me. I think the only 2 movies that I've seen from Shyamalan Ding Dong were The Sixth Sense and
the movie that shall not be named. That one day,
the movie that should not be named. Of course, one is a complete crime against humanity, where they try to adapt one of the best animated TV shows ever and completely fucking failed, and it's absolute garbage in every way. And the other movie is an extremely overrated movie that I didn't care for and was completely bored by. So yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, you couldn't be more wrong about that second opinion, but hey.
I'm completely bored by the fucking movie.
But like you said, it's not for you, so that's fine. I get that. So
and I've seen the Nostalgia Critic review of Lady in the Water, and that just and After Earth, which both look like extreme trash, but for some reason.
no. Yes, Shyamalan, you play an artist who will one day save the world with your brilliant writing.
Yeah, with that burp in between, that is so fitting.
It pretty much is, because...
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, exactly. So, now this next one, again, I'm going to keep this really short. So, Jacob's Ladder, we have a remake of the 1990 classic that I absolutely adore. And it's not really a horror film, it's just more of a mystery film that has one very iconic horror scene. But I'm scared because I don't want them to botch a movie that I truly adore. So, we'll see. But now we'll get into a film that you and I are both looking forward to. Hey! Because, let's face facts, is the Lego Movie not one of the best films of the decade?
Why the fuck didn't this, first of all, get the nomination of Best Animated Feature?
Oh my god!
Second of all, didn't just win Best Animated Feature, because Big Hero 6, are you fucking kidding me? No way.
I mean, okay, How to Train Your Dragon 2, I would have given it to, because, again, I know...
But Big Hero 6?
Yeah, but Big Hero 6, what the fuck? Like, I remember, I specifically remember this. I tweeted out, #SadToothless, when Big Hero 6 won at the 2015 Academy Awards, and I was pissed.
Jarvis, the Lego Movie is the best animated movie of 2014, and everyone fucking knows it.
Oh, man.
Do you
Yes,
see that
no.
poster right behind me? The Lego Batman movie was also fucking great.
It was. It was a fun time that I absolutely enjoyed. And Jonathan Peck, please, dude, if we forget to bring up a film, please put it in the comments, and
We're going by release date, by the way. So we
yes.
just started off with the year.
So we are going by the month. We are going chronologically of when these films are going to be released. So if we forget something, you know what? Bring it up and we'll talk about it. So next one, we have Alita: Battle Angel, produced by James Cameron and directed by Robert Rodriguez. Okay, now Kees, you are a big fan of James Cameron.
Before the 2000s. I like to reiterate that.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, he's only had one film since Titanic, and you know that's only the highest grossing film ever made.
But it sucks. Like it's Pocahontas and Dances with Wolves, and I really don't ever want to see it again, and I really don't care for it, and I really don't understand why it ever got that praise of the highest grossing movie of all time. I mean, yeah, it reinvented 3D, but what? I'm like trying to wrap my head around that. But anyway, I've actually seen the trailer to this, and it looks questionable.
See,
I don't know.
And that's what scares me, because you have two great visual minds.
By the way, James Cameron is the guy who said that Terminator Genesis was great.
Yeah. Also, the guy who said that Force Awakens wasn't that good, and I mean, yep.
I will just keep drinking to that. So, like his credibility has just gone down, because, like, I love the Terminator movies, I love Aliens, I love The Abyss, and I love Titanic. I'm like, and True Lies, of course. So it's like he's made great movies before the year 2000, and then his credibility just went down. So I don't even know what to think of this.
And that's where I'm in the same boat, because look, and I'm not as big of a James Cameron fan. Sure, I love T2 and I love the Terminator, but True Lies I don't really care as much for, and you know, The Abyss, while I think is well made, I don't care for the story of it. And of course, Aliens is fucking phenomenal, even though, yes, sure, I prefer the original over the sequel, but the sequel is still damn fantastic.
It's one of the best sequels ever made.
Easily. That's not even a question. Like, Aliens is just a fan-fucking-tastic movie.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. We'll just have to see. And I just hope that Robert Rodriguez, who's made some of my favorite action films ever, can just deliver me a product that I care about. Because much like James Cameron, post-2000, he's not delivered as often as he should have.
Well, he's had a couple good ones.
He's had a couple good ones, but again, those were sort of more of his older work. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Next up, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Okay. As someone who absolutely adores How to Train Your Dragon 2, I can't be more stoked. I have waited 4 years for this movie. 5 years, technically. But we're getting it, and it's finally coming, and I'm ready to cry my eyes out over how beautiful the flight sequences were in the last film. I'm ready to cry my eyes out over what I'm sure will be some very powerful moments. And the other thing, too, is I have a feeling there's going to be some great action in this movie. Because if there's one thing the first two films nailed, it's incredible animation,
That's true.
Great score by John Powell.
That's true.
And these action sequences that have stood the test of time and will stand the test of time, in my personal opinion.
By the way, Jonathan Peck is naming Sin City for Robert Rodriguez.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
No. Here's the thing. Rodriguez only directed a segment of it. The main director was still Frank Miller. And yeah, Sin City was great, but we mentioned he has had hits or misses. Sin City was definitely a hit.
Yes, but then, sure. But then he also gave us The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, which, granted, in concept was great, but in final execution looked like ass.
Anyway, I should just watch How to Train Your Dragon and How to Train Your Dragon 2 already. I have seen the first one once and thought it was fine. But I should probably give it a rewatch.
And actually, it's kind of funny because the first one, before I saw the second one, I thought the first one was just fine as well. But then after I saw the second one, I had a deeper appreciation for the first one.
So I just should watch both of them. Cool.
Yes,
got it.
Absolutely. All right, up next on the docket in March, we have Captain Marvel. Brie Larson coming into the MCU. Okay. Yes, as Case and I have both said in the past, not big fans of the trailers. But
also not a fan of the release date.
I'm okay with it because it is slowly becoming a proven month for the MCU.
No, February is. Not March.
Fair enough.
Black Panther was February.
That's true. But that being said, I'm still plenty excited for the movie as it drops because Ben Mendelsohn as your villain. Come on, he's gonna be fun no matter what. We're also getting back Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson, and we're getting back Sam Jackson as Nick Fury. And granted, it looks a little weird at the moment, but that's the trailer shot and not necessarily the final product.
That's the thing. There are people who are defending it because they're like, well, in the comics is this and that. From a comic standpoint, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't care for the comics. I haven't read those comics. I just care about the movie. And in terms of like what you're showing me in the trailer, what I can expect from the movie, it doesn't look all that great. But I know that everyone involved is great. So, and I'm going to see it because it's the MCU, and just given the MCU's track record, I'm not going to doubt that. Of course, the MCU has had some misses. One of them, in my personal opinion, extremely recently with Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's just me. But
that's not really just you. There's a lot of people who are disappointed with that movie.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed by Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I love the first Ant-Man, really. But with Captain Marvel, I'm like, I'm going to see it. And we'll just see if it's better than the trailer. I just hope it is a Pixar, like a Pixar case, where trailer is not that good, but the movie is actually good.
That's actually that's a good way of putting it, actually.
Because Pixar doesn't have great trailers.
No, they don't. You remember those Inside Out trailers? They sucked.
They sucked, and the movie is fucking phenomenal. Same with Coco. So yeah.
All right. Now, and speaking of trailers that just leave me not wanting to see it, but I'm going to see it anyway because it's Disney. Dumbo.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I'm going to see this movie because I know Tim Burton has another good film in him. And I want to believe that this could be it. I genuinely want to believe it because I grew up on the original Dumbo. I loved that movie as a kid. And you know what? I still like it to this day. But
weird. It's very weird.
It's very weird, and because Dumbo gets drunk, and it's very awkward. But I don't know, like
pink elephants.
Which I don't know if they're gonna do that for this version. I want them to, and I just don't know if they're going to.
It's Tim Burton. You're about to get as weird as we can get, really.
Fair enough. Okay.
No, look, Tim Burton is probably the only person who could possibly do something with this movie, but the original Dumbo is not that great, and the remake seems to be a remake. No re-inspired new things that you want to change. It looks not good.
Yeah, sadly. Oh, and Jonathan Peck, you brought up one that I totally forgot about, and that is Doug Liman's latest film coming down the pike. That being Chaos Walking.
I'm seeing this. Starring Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Matt Mikkelsen, and David Oyelowo. Yes.
Yes.
By the way, I do want to say you have Ray, you have Galen Erso, and you have Callus in this movie, and it's directed by the guy who did the Firstborn and Edge of Tomorrow. Yes, please.
Yes, please. And you might have our future. I don't know. Could you see Tom Holland in Star Wars somewhere?
Can we just say Spider-Man? He is the Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Next movie. Okay, let's get ready for some more concern here. Shazam.
Drinks. The trailer looks like fucking garbage. They're trying to do the Marvel formula where they're trying to do the funny, uplifting beat. And look, I love Zachary Levi. He's great in Chuck, and I think he was decent as replacing Fandral in Thor: The Dark World, even though that movie was garbage. But what the fuck is he doing in this movie? This just looks like complete garbage. It's completely inconsistent with anything that DC has ever done. I am not looking forward to this movie, and it's going to be garbage. That's my thing.
Same. Okay. Moving on.
Okay, we're done.
Now, this one is, again, just for me. Pet Sematary, the remake of the 1989 classic. Look, the old one is starting to become a little dated, so if you were able to do a new version that can truly excite me, I'm down. I'm ready for it. It should be a fun time. But I'm not going to be surprised if it completely sucks. Which I don't want it to. I want it to succeed because I'm gonna go see it, but I'm worried.
Okay.
As
movie brought up in chat by Jonathan Pack. Us starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Beth Moss, and directed by Jordan Peele.
Well, as someone who absolutely adored Get Out, I'm nervous.
As someone who was not a fan of Get Out.
I'm a little bit nervous about that one, and it's not because I don't like the cast or the director, because obviously, I mean, shit, I love Get Out, but I need a trailer. I need a trailer, and I'll need to just get a feel for the movie before I go see it. And I'm sure the trailer's already out, and I will go check it out as soon as we're done. But I'm a little nervous, so we'll just have to see how that one turns out.
That's the thing. The trailer has to be out already. If it's not, that's definitely a reason to be nervous.
Yeah. And here's another movie that I shouldn't be nervous about, but I am. That is Hellboy.
Yeah, same.
With David Harbour, who I adore in Stranger Things. But I don't know. Like I'm too used to seeing Ron Perlman in the title role.
Okay, so Chris, there's only a poster of that movie Us by Jordan Peele, so yeah, definitely nervous.
Yeah.
No, but Hellboy, the Ron Perlman, directed by Guillermo del Toro ones are great. Can we just leave it at that, please? You know, those are great.
Well, I mean, I'm down for an R-rated reboot. It's just
not R-rated for the sake of R-rated.
Well, yeah, no. And to be fair, that from how it sounds, that's not the intention of it. But I need to see the finished. I'll need to see something before I can give it too much credit or lack thereof. So
yep.
Now we're gonna get into the fun one, and this is a fun one for you and me especially.
Oh yeah.
Chapter 4, baby. The first one taught us love. The second one taught us patience. The third one taught us pain. The fourth one's gonna fucking kill us. And that is Avengers Endgame.
Do you all see that right there? Oh no, you probably don't because of the stream. Anyway, I have an Avengers Infinity War poster on my wall because it is my favorite movie of the year so far. That's not gonna change. Regardless of any fucking Oscar-nominated bullcrap, it's not going to change. The best movie of the year for me is Avengers Infinity War. It is so perfectly crafted, in my personal opinion, where we have all these characters come together in a movie. This is seriously 10 years of build-up, 19 movies leading up to it, and strangely enough, the character with the most screen time is Thanos, the bad guy that you have always wanted in any MCU movie. We're getting it, and I will say that I honestly think Josh Brolin as Thanos is a better villain than any other comic book villain in history. Yes, even as Heath Ledger's Joker, who is fucking phenomenal in The Dark Knight. But one thing that I lacked for the Joker in The Dark Knight was motivation, actually. because there is not much of a motivation that he has compared to Thanos, who, I mean, have you seen Infinity War? It is so great. And the end that like the way it ends, it's as Chris describes, it's pain. But you're like, so what's going to happen next? I need to see what happens next, because I remember sitting in that theater the first time, having the idea that only an hour and a half had passed, and in fact, almost 2.5 hours had passed at that point. I was like, I need to see the next thing. What is going to happen next? Half of the universe died. Half of everything died. What is going to happen next? Because we do have actually the original Avengers left. And I'm like, I just want to see what they are going to do against Thanos right now. We actually do have Ant-Man, and we have Captain Marvel. I just want to see this. It's going to be amazing. And it's probably going to break every single box office record in existence.
Yeah, I hate to say it, guys. And as someone who is a diehard Star Wars fan and will be until his dying day, this movie's going to blow Episode 9 out of the goddamn water.
In terms of box
office, this movie is gonna blow it out of the fucking water. It's not even funny.
Infinity War already did it compared to Episode 8, and those were a couple of months apart. So,
and you could argue that was just marketing on certain parts. And you know what? Listen. Kees, forgive me for what I'm about to say, but in terms of how to subvert audience expectations, Avengers Infinity War did a way fucking better job than The Last Jedi.
We can agree to disagree. That's okay.
Well, okay. And I'm actually playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, because I see the point. I choose not to embrace that. So
look, the thing is that both Infinity War and The Last Jedi did certain things that were against audiences' expectations. The only thing was with Infinity War, people were more acceptant of it than The Last Jedi. I still don't really know why.
Because the MCU's only been around for 10 years. Star Wars has been around for 40. Star Wars is more established, hence why people are that much more loyal to it versus the MCU.
And also the thing is with Infinity War, most people didn't have that much of expectations that they could completely subvert yet. And with The Last Jedi, it's like, oh, they're going to do something like Empire.
It was everybody's expectations.
Like everyone was thinking we are going to do something like Empire, and then they didn't by actually doing that, which is like, wait, that confuses people, and that's why they don't like it, I think, because people don't understand what, people don't like what they don't understand, I think. But anyway, Endgame is going to be amazing.
Yes. So, and now, Jonathan, actually, you brought up another one that I actually forgot to put in the list, and this is the next film from Leica Studios, and we like Leica around here because we both love Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, hell yeah.
And their next project is Missing Link. And to be honest, I don't know much about it, but just looking at the cast alone, I'm interested.
That's a good cast.
Hugh Jackman, Zoe Saldana, Timothy Olyphant, Emma Thompson, Zach Galifianakis. Okay, minus him. But everyone else, I'm down.
Hey, no. He was a good Joker.
He was a fine Joker.
And he was funny in The Hangover.
Our next film is Detective Pikachu.
No, I do want to touch on Leica. I've only seen Kubo and the Two Strings out of their slate, which I loved. I do want to see more of their movies because I've heard that their other movies like Box Trolls and Coraline are also good, and I want to see those.
They've literally not made a bad film, in my opinion.
That's great.
So
I want to see those.
Exactly.
And as an animation fan, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yes. And yes, I know I'm too harsh on Zach Galifianakis.
Yes, you are.
But I don't give a shit because I don't find him funny. It's just as simple as that. Like there are certain comedians out there whose sense of humor I just don't get.
I'm just gonna finish this beer right now.
You finish that beer.
Also considering the next movie.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so Detective Pikachu. I've seen a trailer for it.
I can only hear Deadpool as Pikachu. I cannot hear anything else because it's Ryan Reynolds as his Really, it is Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool because seriously, I've seen Ryan Reynolds and I've heard Ryan Reynolds in different roles, and in other roles I haven't been able to identify him as Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. It's like in this, I completely hear Deadpool, which is a fucking issue in a Detective Pikachu movie. So I'm like, I've seen the trailer. The CGI is good, on the Pokemon. But if it's going to mainly feature Pikachu, because it's called Detective Pikachu, and if that's voiced by Ryan Reynolds doing his Deadpool shtick, it's not gonna fucking work. And that's just what's taking me completely out of this movie. So.
Yeah, and plus,
and I love Pokemon.
Okay,
I really do.
And plus, and here's my legitimate problem with this. So this is our first attempt at a live-action Pokemon movie, but why in the seven circles of fuck are you doing this? Are you starting this franchise on a spin-off?
I don't know.
Like, okay.
Okay, to be fair, Pikachu is their most beloved favorite character.
Sure, but it still makes no sense. Okay,
no, it doesn't.
Like, okay, here, you know what? Let's go back to my, the girl that I started talking to this week. Let's say she hasn't seen Star Wars. That would be like if I wanted to show her Solo as the first film.
Yeah, no, don't do that. There are a million things that... Same with Rogue One, by the way. Because...
Well, there's an argument to be made, but we'll save that for another conversation.
No. Here's the thing. If you're showing the person just one movie, just one, not more, just one.
You show her Revenge of the Sith. Jesus
Christ. the thing is, if you show her Solo or Rogue One, there are so many things that will go completely over their head. Like, heck. Tarkin will be completely missed on them. The impact of Darth Vader, they might know who the character is. They don't know anything about who he is in the actual established universe. The reason that Rogue One works so well for people who have actually seen the original Star Wars is because they've seen the original Star Wars. And same thing with Solo. The reason that movie works for the people who know who Han Solo is because they've seen the movies that have Han Solo in them. It's just that you can't show it to someone who's never seen a single movie and, hey, this is the first movie you should start off with. No. It makes no sense. So it's the same with Detective Pikachu. Why even bother showing this? Every fucking movie ever.
Okay,
like,
so Jonathan Beck actually brings up a fair point that Detective Pikachu could be like a modern reincarnation of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which if that's the angle that they're going for, then yes, sign me up, I'm on board, but that's not the vibe I'm getting from the trailers.
Not at all.
Because look, I'm going to go see this movie regardless because I'll have to do a review for it, and I'm fine with that. But... when I go see this movie and that's not the vibe I get, then I'm probably not going to enjoy it very much. And I'm just being real.
Let's just move on.
Okay, fine. Let's move on. We spent way too much time on this movie. I agree.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a movie that I actually am excited for. John Wick fucking 3, motherfucker. Come on. Best action franchise that started in this decade. Yes. I'm ready for the third one.
One thing I'll say about the John Wick movies, besides the plot, the action in these movies is the best action that has been filmed in franchise movies that started in this decade, indeed. Because, you know what's so refreshing about action movies like John Wick? That you can actually see the characters in frame fighting, like
Yes.
in camera, actually fighting each other, and that shit is actually happening to them, and that people are bleeding at the moment they get punched, instead of like a million quick cuts and all the shaky cam so that we mask shitty ass choreography. No, these movies actually get it fucking right. They actually just take a little bit of a wider angle to show the characters and to actually have them fight, and it's like, wow, why couldn't we do this in like other shitty action movies? Of course, it's fucking phenomenal. Now, my personal opinion about the John Wick movies is the plot is really fine.
Look. The plot's non-existent. You watch these movies for the great action fight sequences.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I do like both John Wick movies that have come out, mostly because of how it's filmed and how the action is done, because that's, like, so much better than any of the action movies coming out these days, except maybe Mission Impossible, you know. Other than that, like, wow. So I just want to see this movie for the fact that we have, you know, action on your camera, and it's actually people fighting each other rather than shitty ass choreography by being marked by extremely quick edits and shaky cam. So yeah. Exactly.
So okay, Kees, you can tell me to skip to the next movie right now if you want.
No.
Okay, so you do have some thoughts on Aladdin.
Yes. The only saving grace about this movie is Guy Ritchie. For me, I love Guy Ritchie. I have loved most of his movies, actually. I'm actually a big defender of
Sherlock Holmes? Or no, King Arthur.
Oh no, I love both Sherlock Holmes movies, by the way.
Right.
And I actually quite like King Arthur, Legend of the Sword a lot. And I'm like, his direction style, it is definitely a style that is not for everyone, but I really do like it. Also, Man from U.N.C.L.E., that's also a great movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
and the thing is, what he can do is why I'm excited for Aladdin. Because seriously, the teaser showed nothing. The cast is
which is good.
Yeah, it's true. It showed that it's Aladdin, of course. The cast is a cast, sure. Who the fuck cares? But it's still Guy Ritchie, so I hope that Guy Ritchie actually gets some free range on what to do in terms of his style, because I want that to be the case for Aladdin, because otherwise, fuck off with your remakes and your Disney remakes, because Dumbo, Aladdin, all that kind of crap. I'm just
okay.
But yeah, really only Guy Ritchie is making me want to watch this movie.
Yeah, and I have a complicated relationship with Guy Ritchie because I like most of his films, except for the films that he has no business trying to tackle. And I'm sorry, Kees, for me, that includes King Arthur. At least the way that he did it.
That's okay.
So, you know, but
the way he did it was completely different from any King Arthur movie before him, though.
Yes, and to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that. But it didn't work for me in the slightest.
No, and you and a lot of people.
You know, and that's because I'm a King I'm a King Arthur fan. I grew up reading a lot of the stories of King Arthur, and I'm very well versed in the lore.
To be fair, I do know the story of King Arthur, and I've grown up with some of it. Just with Guy Ritchie, I was like, if it's Guy Ritchie doing King Arthur, I care a whole lot less about that lore.
And you know what? And to be honest, I wish I had done that when I saw the movie. I really do.
That's what you should do with that movie.
But I didn't, and I just expected a good King Arthur movie, and that's not what I got. And you know, luckily, you're not gonna see me burn any dollar bills over it. So
that's a great reference.
All right, and plus, like that. I still remember that night so vividly.
We all remember that night.
Because first time that our dear friend Abe Flores ever showed up on camera. And by the way,
first of all, he completely shits on my opinion about liking King Arthur. And second of all, he burns a $1 bill because he hates fucking Michael Bay and his Transformers. Yes.
And we've loved him ever since. Okay.
We have.
So now we're going to move on to the next film, and that is Brightburn.
What?
So just hear me out on this. Picture, if you will, Superman. Picture Man of Steel. But instead of Superman wanting to be a person who is a Boy Scout. Picture
By the way,
Superman.
in Man of Steel, he's so much less a Boy Scout than in the other Superman movies.
Well, sure, but he still has the good heart, and he wants to fight for good and truth and justice and whatnot.
Well, that's fair. That's scary.
But let's say Kal-El decides he wants to just be just a sick, murderous, rampageous son of a bitch. Like what Bruce Wayne was afraid he'd be in Batman v Superman, but a movie that actually explores that.
A movie that is actually well made.
Yeah. This movie is interesting, is piquing the fuck out of my interest. I want to see this movie. Badly. And you know what? I think I could have a fun time with it because, hey, you know what? I liked Teeth, and that was a quote-unquote horror film with a superhero twist. So, I think it'll be a fun time. As we move on to our next film, that is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So you've seen both Godzilla and King Kong, right?
Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, yes.
Yes. I mean, I'm assuming you're going to probably see this movie. But I'm assuming you don't have any high hopes for it.
Look, I saw the first Godzilla mostly because of the fact that I knew Gareth Edwards directed it and he was directing Rogue One, so it was like, okay, fine, I'll see Godzilla. And I thought it was fine. I saw Kong Skull Island in the theater, and I thought it was fine, I guess. And yeah, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I'm probably going to see it, and it's going to be fine.
It's probably going to be fine.
Like, I don't care about kaiju movies. There's a reason that I didn't care about it in any of my fandom matches, that I only studied up for it for the title match because I knew that fucking Paul and Lucas would put it in there. That's the reason that I only knew a couple of the kaiju questions that were asked. Other than that...
Wait, we had kaiju questions?
We did. Hey, we actually got to the 1 point difference on the last question because a kaiju question, because they asked who scored Pacific Rim. And I got it. Because I actually studied a little bit about that kind of stuff,
Oh, but we're going to call shenanigans on that, right, Case?
Don't you shut up about this. Like, I know my composers, especially when it's a guy from Game of Thrones. Other than that, this movie's going to be fine. I might see it. I might not. Who cares? Move on.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing personal, Jonathan Peck, but I actually haven't even heard of this movie, and I don't. I mean, I'll if I watch a trailer for it, I'll probably check it out. But until then,
we have no trailer for it.
Yeah. So until we get one, we'll see.
Rocket
Next movie. So this movie is going to be essentially for Elton John what Bohemian Rhapsody was for Freddie Mercury. I'm not excited, to be completely honest.
Have we seen a trailer yet?
We've seen like a teaser.
I can't say anything yet.
Yeah.
Taron Egerton is playing Elton John, right?
Yep.
That's good, though.
Yeah. Well, speaking of trailers that we actually have seen, but movies that at this point, I'm not sure if it's even going to get fucking released. Dark Phoenix.
Or the other one, the other X-Men movie that we have seen a trailer to, but
man,
New Mutant. Oh yeah, it's coming up later.
Well, you know what? No, fuck it. Let's tackle them both right now because
both New Mutants and Dark Phoenix. New Mutants. What the fuck is even happening? Is this an X-Men movie or is this something else? Dark Phoenix. It'll continue what happened in Apocalypse, I guess. I like Apocalypse. Fine. Well, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Also, is this taking place in the 90s? Because seriously, age your fucking actors up! I am so sick of this shit. Like, First Class, 63. Days of Future Past, 73. Okay, 10 years, that's okay. With Apocalypse, it's 83. Guys, this is 20 years from the first movie. And this is going to be the 90s. This is going to be 30 years later, and you're not aging your actors up? What the fuck? Guys, if a person is 25 compared to 55, there's definitely some aging in their face. And you're
Well,
what the fuck?
I mean, to be fair, my dad still looks like he's 32, and he's 57.
Okay, still, there is at least some aging going on with some of these characters, and they should get at least gray in a little bit of spots, especially Michael fucking Fassbender. So I'm not sure what the fuck is even going on with that. They don't even care for continuity at this point.
Oh, no, of course not. No.
I mean, look, to be fair, they've never really cared about continuity in the X-Men universe, but pardon me. But
well-timed burp.
The burp is for this movie because
okay. So yes,
I can't even care.
Yes, we knocked out both New Mutants and Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
And now we're actually on one that I don't know how to feel about.
Intrigued is the word?
I'm intrigued because I've seen the two leads and I like the director. Men in Black International. And just a little refresher, so this one has Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson as our new Agent J and K, but obviously they'll be different letters, but that's fine. But then we also have Emma Thompson back as Agent O. We have Liam Neeson in this movie, and so I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Because I like the third one, although I know a lot of people didn't. I like the third one.
I love the third one. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm nervous because they're taking the franchise in a brand new direction, and and obviously there's nobody really old school crew there.
That's kind of what I'm scared about. Because I love the first Men in Black. It's a classic. It's so great. It's seriously one of the best comic book movies, one of the best sci-fi movies, alien movies, essentially. Men in Black 2 is garbage. It really is. I've seen it. I've rewatched it recently. That is not worth the watch.
It is hot garbage.
Yeah. Men in Black 3, that is a great movie, actually. I really loved it. I think that they did a lot of great things in terms of casting, especially. And yeah, Emma Thompson, she was good. Even though Alice Eve was a lot more in it than she was as the same character, of course. So yeah, I would say cautiously optimistic about this movie. There's potential in this movie that I would want to see, but based off the fact that the Men in Black movies have not been that great, I'll just wait to see a trailer. I will probably go see it at the end, but
same. And
we will see.
And actually, Jonathan Beck, thank you for the reminder. Kumail Nanjiani as one of the aliens. Okay.
Who's that?
From one of your favorite movies of 2017, The Big Sick. Look, but just trust me when I say this. He is a funny comedian. He's a funny guy who has said a lot of funny stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's directed by F. Gary Gray. He's good.
Yes, exactly. So he'll get a funny performance out of Kumail Nanjiani. You'll enjoy it. Okay?
Oh, wait. He's the lead in The Big Sick.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes. Also the co-writer. Okay.
True.
So now we have one of Case's, I'm sure, many big rants tonight.
No. I'm not going to rant on this. I'm just going to say where everyone's wrong.
Get out of your system, bro. Toy Story 4.
Here's the thing with the Toy Story movies. The first one is a really good setup. On rewatch, it doesn't hold up that well nowadays because the CGI, it's definitely dated, and it's a very simple story. The second one is great. I love the second one. It is in every way better than the first one, and it explores concepts that, it's really relevant to what you would want in a Toy Story movie. Toy Story 3 is the most overrated movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. After seeing it, I was like, it was okay. It was the same plot as Toy Story 2, I guess. Andy giving up his toys when he's 18, almost off to college, and still having an issue with letting go of that. I'm like, what? I know that it's from the perspective of the audience that doesn't want to let go of the toys, but there's no fucking reason in seven hells that an 18-year-old guy off to college should have that much of an issue with throwing away his toys. So yeah, I think that Toy Story 3 is extremely overrated, even though it's a well-made movie, I guess. Why are we getting Toy Story 4? What story is there to tell? Andy is off to college. Are we going to follow Bonnie in this movie, who we've seen for like 5 minutes in Toy Story 3 and I didn't really give a shit about? Sure. I'm not looking forward to this movie. Go. Yeah, it might
you are wrong in literally every single sentence that you said, but you know what?
Okay, by the way,
fair enough.
Jonathan Peck, yes, it might very well be Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh, don't speak that in the atmosphere, man, because it just might happen. But
just there.
Just no. I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that because I just want a good movie. Okay, just let me want to have a good movie. As we move on to Spider-Man: Far From Home, the sequel to Homecoming, it's gonna be fun. Case, do you have any thoughts about it before you get to your fucking rant that I don't want to hear? Or do you just want to skip right to it?
I'm looking forward to Far From Home. I liked Homecoming a lot. Let's go.
All right. Let me have it.
Okay. No, you first. What
no.
do you think of...
No.
Oh.
My show. You go first.
Okay. The Lion King. One of the greatest animated movies ever made.
It's not.
Okay, one of my all-time personal favorite animated movies ever made. My absolute favorite Disney movie ever made. Because, this movie was released in 1994, and my dad died in 1999. And that had some kind of, an impact on me. And I saw this movie first with my dad and then without my dad. And the first movie, I think, is really fucking amazing. I know that it's based off Hamlet, but the way that The Lion King impacted me and impacted millions upon millions of other people around the world, I'm not a fan of Disney remaking all their beloved movies, like Beauty and the Beast that everyone loved, even though I don't really, but they're remaking their absolute favorite movies. Why? Just to cash on the nostalgia of people who watched it in the past. And I saw the trailer of The Lion King. The only reason it gave me goosebumps is because they used the songs that I love. And yes, I do love the Circle of Life and all that kind of stuff. I love essentially everything about that first movie. I don't want them to remake this because there's no reason for it to be remade, I think. I don't think they can really improve upon it, especially based on the trailer, because the trailer just showed exactly the first movie. It was almost a shot-for-shot remake based on that trailer. And I'm basing it on the trailer because that's all we have so far. The trailer is, in my personal opinion, a shot-for-shot remake of the original, which I love. I don't think you can improve upon, and I have a very deep emotional personal connection to. So why the fuck are we getting this? Just because people want to cash in? I know that Disney wants to cash in on the safe game with their we're gonna just remake the popular movies because it will be popular again, and we're gonna cash in on it, and maybe people will like it, but they'll make a lot of bank of it. Awesome, make your box office.
Okay.
It looks
Now,
good.
now, in that regard, I actually completely understand where you're coming from. I genuinely do. But from how I've been interpreting all the news surrounding this movie, it sounds like they're going to fix the issues that I've personally had with it since I was a kid. Because, yes, just like you, I grew up with this movie. I watched this movie probably once a day growing up.
Same.
I love The Lion King, and I still do. But I still have issues with it. For example, half the songs in the original version I don't like. I don't like Hakuna Matata.
Really
I don't like
issue.
I Just Can't Wait to Be King. I don't care for the version of Can You Feel the Love Tonight that's in the movie. Yeah, I actually do like the Elton John version, and I like Be Prepared, and I like Circle of Life. So when you tell me that, so when you tell me that we're gonna have Beyonce come in and she's gonna help usher in a new soundtrack, you know what? I'm excited to hear what a new soundtrack can sound like.
I'm not.
If it's gonna be better than the original. Also, by my understanding, now and okay, this is a nitpick I have with the original. The message of what it tries to tell us, of what Rafiki tells Simba, is great in theory, problem in execution. So the lesson that Rafiki tells Simba is, it doesn't matter, it's in the past. You know, but the past can't hurt. But the way I see it, you can either learn from it, or you can either run from it, or learn from it. Problem. Simba did nothing. So either we have to have a version of this film where he actually did something wrong, or we avoid that moment so that we don't have that be the big lesson, because it means nothing. It literally means nothing. But that's all I'm going to say is if the movie can fix that for me, awesome. Let's move on to the next film. Sorry. That being Quentin Tarantino's 9th film now, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which, oh my God, you want to talk about a powerhouse cast? Jesus Christ. Leo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Al Pacino, Margot Robbie, pretty much everybody big. Past, present, and rising stars as well. I'm sorry, but it's Quentin Tarantino, and the guy's never made a bad film, so I'm excited. Case?
Yeah, Tarantino is one of my all-time favorite writers, I should say. He is a better writer than he's a director. He's also a great director. He's made such great movies. This is a powerhouse cast. I want to see it.
Same. Absolutely. That's really all we got to say about this.
Yeah, it's just look forward to the next Tarantino film. Who the fuck are you that you're not looking forward to the next Tarantino film?
Exactly. So now we're going to move on to just another quick one for me. That is It Chapter 2. I loved the first one that came out in 2017, directed by Andy Muschietti. And I can't wait to see what he can do with the adult version, because in the 1990 original miniseries based on it, the stuff with the kids I liked. The stuff with the adults I hated. So I just hope that Andy Muschietti can correct the mistakes of the past from the miniseries. And that's all more I'm going to say. Next movie. Case,
oh, God.
Do you wish to join me on a rant?
What the fuck is happening? Why is this fucking movie coming out?
And he's not talking about It Chapter 2. We're talking about a little film called The Angry Birds Movie 2.
2. It's also a 2. It's just this
because
is the definition
Case,
of number 2. This is the definition of taking a fucking shit, because this is fucking, no. That's the thing. If you've seen the first one, you see a character voiced by Peter Dinklage take a piss. That's the first one. In this one, he's gonna take a shit. That's my guess. Because it is going to be absolute fucking shit. Angry Birds 1? What the fuck? You're basing a movie off a fucking app, and it's garbage in every fucking way.
Yep.
It is so garbage that your first movie actually took a piss, and I don't know how long it took, but it took it took longer than I think a minute on screen for you finish the fucking piss. That fucking happened on screen in a kids animated movie, and we're getting a second one of this. Are you fucking
because
kidding me?
it made money, and to quote the Tom and Jerry movie, we've got to have money.
Oh, fuck you! I don't want your fucking movie. This is horseshit. Just move on. Just fuck this shit.
In small doses, a drunk and angry Case is the best Case.
Oh, but my God, why is this movie even a thing?
I don't know, man. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna get into a movie that I don't know how else to say it. I'm fucking stoked for it. Joker. I'm ready for this one. I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this movie. 'Cause Todd Phillips is, for me personally, a hit and miss director. But when he hits hard. Sure, when he misses hard. But when he hits hard. Plus, you have Joaquin Phoenix finally making his comic book movie debut, playing one of the most iconic characters in movie history. And I hate to say it, but this could be his Oscar, this could be an Oscar-nominated performance, from the sounds of it.
He's had a couple of those already. So.
He's had a couple, but why not? Let's, maybe sneak him one more. And Jonathan Peck, okay. Fair enough. I did forget to bring this one up. Case, as the only Fast and Furious fan on the panel, do you have any thoughts on Hobbs and Shaw?
Wait, that's a movie coming out?
Yeah.
I wasn't even slightly aware of this.
Yep.
That should tell you enough. I think. I really what the fuck? Just no. Just
okay. That's why.
Joker. I am very intrigued by this. The fact that it is not DCU is like the biggest, best praise that it could possibly get. And I just hope that everyone around it, the team, doesn't let it affect by studio interference and just make a great Joker movie that we deserve. Because the Joker has had a lot of different iterations and a lot of good ones. Also not so good ones, but a lot of good ones. And
mostly good.
Mostly good, luckily. And with that, if you have a character that is so complex and interesting that he can go so many different routes, seeing the images of the Joker so far, I'm like, this is very interesting. You could do a lot with this. I just hope it pans out the way we all hope it pans out, of course. So we'll see about that. But I'm interested. Well,
especially we consider that Bradley Cooper, Mr. Star is Born himself, is actually producer on the Joker movie. I didn't know that.
Neat.
Yeah. All right. Because we're actually going a little longer than we normally do. But you know what? I'm fine with that because we're actually having a great conversation, even though
I am.
Case and I are both pretty drunk. But hey, that's okay.
That's okay.
Next movie is The Addams Family. Now, I understand you're not as familiar with the original films as I might be.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, and here we have Oscar Isaac and Charlize Theron as Gomez and Morticia, and
yes.
To be honest, that alone is enough to sell me. I'm going to watch this movie, and I'm probably going to love it. Even if it's not necessarily that great, I'm sorry. You give me that powerhouse of a couple, and you know what? I'm probably going to love the fuck out of this movie. Because, sure, the 90s versions with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, sure, they're not really the best made movies per se, but those two...
fun.
But those two alone, Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, they are so convincing as the most in love couple. Like literally, the way they talk about dying together is so romantic. It's so sweet. It's so tender. Like, that's hashtag relationship goals. Something that I'll clearly never have, but this motherfucker over here, he will.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Hashtag
okay,
forever alone.
So the reason I was really turning my head is because of this next movie. I'm like, what? What?
Okay.
What is going on?
Yeah, because apparently there's a Zombieland 2 that I've not even heard about, but it's happening.
What?
But where's the cast? Where's the original cast that made it so heartwarming in the first place? Where's Ruben Fleischer, who actually gave it all of its personality in the first place? Okay.
Emma Stone is confirmed, apparently.
That's good.
And Woody Harrelson just Zombieland 2. Like, I saw the first one. I don't much care for it.
I know you didn't. I know,
dear.
But
based off how that movie ends, I'm like, 2? What? Just what? I don't get this. How can there be a sequel to this? That's what I'm just what?
As long as it's good. As long as it's good.
I'm just baffled.
Hey, Case, you want to go on another rant?
Why not?
All right, let's do it. So we have...
considering the moves that we have coming up, yeah, we kind of have to.
Okay.
You can take this one, though.
I'll take this one for you.
By the way, Full Throttle suck balls, but the first one is fun.
So, I'm not a Charlie's Angels purist, but they were only at their best in the 70s, when a concept like Charlie's Angels could actually work. Now, the first film, like Kay said, it's fun, but I don't care for it. Full Throttle is a hot pile of garbage, but you know what? If you have fun with it, I respect your opinion, and you're allowed to have fun with it.
By the way, still the best version of Charlie's Angels is Totally Spies.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It really is.
Because at least there I actually remember the characters' names.
Yep.
So.
Sam Clover and Alex.
Sam Clover, Alex, baby. Absolutely. And Jerry is the butler. Because Jerry was the best.
Jerry was awesome.
Jerry was fucking amazing. All right.
Jerry. But why are we getting this? What is happening?
Like, okay. Elizabeth Banks is a hit or miss director of film. Sometimes she can pump out a good product. Sometimes she doesn't. I have a very sad feeling this is going to be one of those times where she doesn't. Because I have not seen her actually competently show her handle an action sequence. And, well, let's face facts. Charlie's Angels is built on the idea of action. Because they're spies, essentially. So, yeah. This is going to suck.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to suck the big one. I'm sorry. Like, oh, shit. Jonathan Peck, you brought up a good one I want to talk about. No offense to Gemini Man, but I need to see a trailer before I give any thoughts. But You Are My Friend with Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. I'm gonna cry my eyes out because literally my favorite movie of the year so far is Won't You Be My Neighbor.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
It's the Fred Rogers documentary.
What I do know is Tom Hanks in essentially anything, except if it's directed by not directed. If it's a Robert Langdon movie, I mean, Tom Hanks in anything is great. It's just that as long as it's not Robert Langdon, we're good.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now, Case, at one time you had a penchant for a certain director named Matthew Vaughn. You certainly liked to keep some trivia questions about him.
This is true.
So why don't you defend this idea of this Kingsman prequel that's dropping next year with Ray Fiennes and...
We had Layer Cake, which is a great crime movie.
It is.
By Matthew Vaughn.
I love it.
Stardust,
which is a great
fantasy movie directed by Matthew Vaughn. Then we had Kick-Ass, which essentially started Matthew Vaughn directing comic books. Kick-Ass, it's great.
It is.
X-Men First Class is great.
It's good.
Kingsman, The Secret Service, is great.
Is good.
Then it is a great movie, and I love it, and I watch it all the fucking time, and it's so goddamn beautiful. Kingsman: The Golden Circle came out, and God, that sucked. And I really don't want to watch that again, because what the fuck did they do in that movie? They killed off all the characters that I liked from the first one. I'm like, what? And they bring back Colin Firth, but I'm like, what? Just no. He's dead. Just leave him. Like, can we just continue with Eggsy and Roxy?
But hey, we got Pedro Pascal, who was
Or what's her face?
Halle Berry.
No, Poppy, the villain.
Oh, Julianne Moore. Oh.
Yeah, that was she was in a completely different movie. So
yep.
We had a great movie and a bad movie. I just hope that the third one is good, at least, that I can enjoy it, that we can have something like a church scene, because that church scene in the first one is fucking phenomenal, or like the music use, or Eggsy and Roxy can you just magic? I don't care. You already did it with Colin Firth. Can you just magically resurrect Mark Strong and Roxy in the next one? Because for fuck's sake,
take me home.
Fuck that
country road.
Shut up.
To the place.
Okay, I'll just. Can we just please bring those characters back who I actually loved, and just kill off Colin Firth already?
Well, something to keep in mind. This is a prequel, so this is long before.
Oh.
This is long before the events of the first film.
Okay.
It's still gonna suck, but.
Yeah, now it's definitely gonna suck. Okay, drink.
Drink.
Fuck me, Jesus.
Really? Fuck me.
Okay, next movie. That I hope this is good.
Yes. So we have a little film, a sequel to a little film from 2013.
That is now my ultimate favorite Disney movie after a certain title match.
That apparently I know jack shit about, even though I swear to God,
you should have. You knew it.
I knew it. I knew Frozen Heart. I knew Seagull. I knew fucking. Oh, I knew all those questions, and I just blanked because I'm an idiot. No, Frozen 2. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Hashtag give Elsa a girlfriend. I'm ready. Let's make it happen.
Please. Give her a girlfriend. Yes, please. Seriously, I love Frozen so much that I was able to answer 4 out of 5 deep cut questions in it about it in title match, and I'm still really fucking happy that I was able to.
Monkey and
but
peacock dance. God damn it.
Yeah, I really love the first Frozen. Don't care much for Frozen Fever. Really don't care for that 21-minute special about Olaf before fucking Coco. But you know what? Those were all shorts. I really only just loved the movie. I also don't care for all the millions upon millions of merchandise that it's all out in the stores. I just love that first movie. And I just hope that the second movie can be as great. Is that too much to ask for?
And I think it will.
I hope so.
I genuinely think it will.
They have a good, talented cast around it, cast and crew. And I'm like, they can make great songs.
Shit. As soon as that trailer drops, you're not going to shoot a trailer reaction for it. So
yeah,
because we both fucking love the movie.
Yeah. So I want to see this one.
All right, now we're down to our last 5 movies.
You go on this one.
I will. So the next one is Knives Out. That is Ryan Johnson's next film. It's a mystery film.
Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
Sign me up.
Yep.
I'm seeing this.
You know, because, I mean, shit, a mystery film that's Ryan Johnson and it stars...
Ryan Johnson, who has made Brick, Looper, and The Last Jedi. Yes. Yes. Just yes.
Exactly. And you know what? Hold on for just 2 seconds while I quickly pull up the cast of the movie. It'll take me
That's an idea.
Chris Evans, Daniel Craig, Ana de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Don Johnson. I'm sorry. I want to see this movie, and I want to see it now. In a mystery whodunit kind of film. Yep. This is his.
Yep.
This is his bread and butter. This is his wheelhouse. I'm ready.
Literally, I have this on my desk right now. Ana de Armas. Yes.
There you go.
She's so great.
She is incredible, and I hope she has a career that just lasts fucking forever.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she's very young still.
She is. Fourth film to go. Jumanji 3.
3?
Now, did you see Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle?
No, but I did see the original.
Okay. Honestly, Jumanji 2 is better. I'm dead serious.
Okay, I like the original. The only reason that I haven't seen the next one is because my girlfriend loves the original, and she's like completely against any type of other movie. So she's completely against the idea.
Trust me. Before I saw this movie, I was already ready to hate it. But then I saw it, because look, it has Kevin Hart in it, and I can't stand Kevin Hart as a comedian.
This is true.
But what happened? I watched the movie. God fucking damn it. You want to know what I wish happened? So it's four kids who get sucked into a video game.
I know.
And do you want to know what I wish? I wish I saw a movie with the actual characters that they turned into. Like, I wanted to see that movie. I wanted to see the actual Rock character with his Kevin Hart sidekick, with his love interest being Karen Gillan, and Jack Black as the photographer, and Nick Jonas as the pilot. Like, I wanted to see that movie.
Well, I may want to check out Welcome to the Jungle then, and then we'll see about the third one.
Exactly. All right, third one. So, okay. You and I have a complicated relationship with Daniel Craig's era James Bond.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of the first half. Or, okay, I'm not as strong of a fan of the first half of Daniel Craig's era as everyone else is.
Well,
because I like Casino Royale, but I don't get the hype.
Look, the thing is that most people really do like Casino Royale. That's where you differ. Everyone agrees that Quantum of Solace is just garbage, which it is. Now everyone loves Skyfall. I don't. And Spectre is kind of hit or miss. I like it.
It's fine. It's not terrible, but
it's not the best movie. It's not the worst movie. I like it. So.
But we can both agree that Sam Mendes did bring a certain spark and flair to James Bond.
Yeah, I did like the direction at least of Skyfall.
So
not necessarily the writing. I did like the direction, and I did like the direction of Spectre, especially the opening scene. The opening scene is gorgeous.
Oh my god, that opening scene is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But so Sam Mendes, we both relatively like.
Oh yeah, especially considering he did American Beauty, which is awesome.
Exactly. Now his next film he's got coming out called 1917, and it's essentially a World War I film. And actually, Case, if you could move about 6 inches over, I'd greatly appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. You're good.
I'm forgetting these camera positions.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. Love you. So, okay.
Continue.
But no, so he's gonna take a crack at a World War I film, and it's gonna be produced by Steven Spielberg through DreamWorks. I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what he can do with the World War I aesthetic. Like, I'm excited to see what he can do with covering such a gruesome time of history.
I'll say it's interesting. However, there is another movie called 1941, I think.
Okay.
By Steven Spielberg, which is not the best I've heard.
Here's the difference. 1941 is basically a spoof film.
Oh.
So huge difference. Whereas 1917 is going to be
a serious war movie.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
I actually recently rewatched two of my favorite war movies: Saving Private Ryan and Black Hawk Down. If it can be something like that, I like it.
Yeah, same. And to be honest, even though yes, I just got Wonder Woman last year, but there's not enough World War I films. Straight up.
By the way, Wonder Woman is very fictional still.
Oh, yeah, of course, but it's still set in that time period, which thank God for that, because there's still not enough World War I films happening, in my opinion. I mean,
I think that's mostly because they World War II is still relevant, but World War I is kind of forgotten about, and people kind of want to just forget about as much.
Well, yes, because in theory it was supposed to be the war to end all wars, and well,
it wasn't.
We know how well that turned out. Because what was it, 32 years later that dear old Addie decided to declare war on everyone? Yeah. Or 31, because it ended in 1918.
Okay, from a certain point of view, 29. If you go from 1919 to 1938 when they invaded Poland.
Well, no, because Japanese invaded. Oh shit! I gotta make sure I say this right. Because the Japanese invaded the upper half of China in 1938. Then the invasion of
Germany invaded Poland as well
in 1939.
1938, I think.
39. September 1st, 1939 was when the war machine rolled through Warsaw.
History lesson while we're drunk. This is
absolutely drunk history, baby. So, okay, I'm going to go on a super stupid quick rant. Cats. Andrew Lloyd Webber. He's the fucking worst. Done.
Let's just get into
one more movie. And
it's the movie to end all.
It's the movie to end all movies because this is the end of the franchise. This is the end of the Skywalker saga.
It's definitely not the
end. You're right. It's not the end of the franchise, but it's supposedly the end of the saga films. It's the end of the Skywalker story. Star Wars fucking Episode 9.
It's the end of an era.
Supposedly,
of course. Which we've had twice already. Look, Star Wars Episode 7 came out in 2015. Force Awakens. It is a fucking great movie, and I love it. Then they continued with The Last Jedi, Episode 8. You see the poster behind me? Maybe not. Maybe you do. It is a fucking amazing movie. I don't care what the fuck you say. I love it so much, and I love all the decisions that they made in it. All the writing decisions, I loved it. I don't care if it's not in line with your fucking theories that you've been speculating on for 2 years, who nobody gives a shit about, that maybe Mace Windu is fucking Snoke, because he fucking isn't. It's like, fuck you and your fucking theories. Whatever The Last Jedi did is way better than any of that bullshit, and it's awesome, and I cannot wait to see what Kylo Ren does now as the supreme leader of the First Order, and what he does with Hugs, and how he's gonna bang Rey. Yes, I know. Yes, because it's gonna fucking happen, and I can't wait to see it fucking happen. Because, I just want to see it. Because Reylo is totally a thing in this.
Yes, it is.
And we need to acknowledge that, and we need to be very excited for that moment to happen, even though they're going to be more excited about it. But hey,
woohoo!
And I just want to see what happens to Kylo Ren. If he's going to redeem himself, because for fuck's sake, he can be. Yes, he killed Han Solo. Did you see The Last Jedi? How it involved the fact of Kylo killing Han Solo, which wasn't really his decision. He thought that he had to do it, but he wasn't entirely sure. Like, he can be redeemed.
I know what I have
it's not,
to do.
Oh my god, he killed my favorite character, Han Solo. Now he needs to die. fuck you. I don't fucking care. Kylo Ren is amazing. He's probably the best character in new canon besides, okay, personally for me, maybe some of the characters from Rebels, but he is by far the best of the movie characters that we've seen in new canon. And, like, I just want to see what he does, what Rey does, what Leia will do in the next episode, because that'll be interesting, for sure. How Hux will die, because he will die, you know he is. How Finn and Rose and Poe's love triangle will figure itself out. I don't know how that will. I just want to see these characters in the next movie because I love them, and I think that The Last Jedi ended on a great note, and I just want to see what happens to them. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Well, so, okay, yes, anybody who knows me knows that all the Star Wars films are literally my favorite film of all time, because I just consider it as one giant story that goes through...
But you do love The Last Jedi a lot.
Well, yeah, of course I fucking love The Last Jedi. I acknowledge it has a shit ton of problems.
It has problems, that's okay.
But I fucking love the movie. And you know what?
I understand if you don't love The Last Jedi, if you have issues with it. I understand that. It's just, I don't really. Anyway,
and to be fair, and yes, I'm the same way. But I guess I'm just a little more open about acknowledging said flaws. But listen, and you know what? Here's the thing. Avengers Endgame is probably going to make twice the money that Star Wars Episode 9 is going to make. But this is the movie that I'm the most excited for, because these are the characters that I've come to love over the last 4 years. Star Wars came back at a time when I absolutely fucking needed it to. And when it came back, it hit me hard. It hit me in the gut, and it told me, fuck you for whatever you thought the story of how Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia was supposed to end. Because you want to know something? Guess what, motherfuckers? I love the EU. I love old legends. But guess what?
Same.
Their stories never ended. Because writers didn't know how to end their story. Because after they ended Chewbacca's story, nobody forgave them. Nobody forgave those writers who put their all into those stories and actually gave them in my opinion, a satisfactory ending. But no, because he was killed by a moon, so it was fucking stupid. He was not killed by a fucking moon, you fucking idiots. But okay, I'm a little tipsy, so I'm a little rant heavy.
Oh, that's okay.
But I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm starting to finally accept the fact that this might actually be the last film of the Skywalker saga. Now, there is a way around it, but it's just a stupid fan theory, and I don't think it's going to happen, where Kylo Ren and Rey have sex one time, and that's all that needed for the next generation, where literally she gives...
And unlike another couple in Star Wars that made a baby, actually... give us a reason to believe that there's a point where they actually have done it. Even though you're not going to show it on screen, give us a point where we actually have, oh, wait, there they did it. Because, like, I love Hera, I love Kano, but where the fuck did they get Jason from? There's just no way anywhere.
I'm still asking, when did Anakin and Padme have sex to have Luke and Leia? I'm still asking that question.
Look, those two had 3 years.
Sure, but... when?
Well, not everything is filled in there. But in terms of Rebels, the issue is that especially their last season really tightens up so much that every single episode goes off of the previous one, and there's just no way, there's no breathing room there that they can ever just have a moment alone and like, so how did they get Jason?
I mean, and to be fair, sure, were they probably having sex beforehand and they just never said "I love you"? Yeah,
yeah, sure,
sure, and that's likely, and that's probably what's going to happen.
Look,
between Rey and Kylo.
If you've read A New Dawn, you know that already 6 or 7 years before the start of Rebels, they already had something going on, and that had been going on for the entirety.
Oh,
like,
just say they were fucking. It's fine.
No, I'm just saying that at least something had been going on, and you know that there has been a lot of hints towards them, and especially towards the end where they actually all out said it because the show became more adult and they were allowed to say that to each other. I'm just really still wondering where the hell they found the time for it.
I don't know either, but listen, guys, I think we're going to have to close up shop here for tonight. And you might have noticed I put a part 1 in the thumbnail because, look, let's face facts. Case, we're going to be doing this show a year from now. So you know what? I'd like to do 2019 films part 2 after we finally have seen all of these films so we can talk about them. Fair enough?
Of course. But hey, that's what I do every year. I always make my anticipation video of what I'm looking forward to next year. And then I afterwards make
So
my
wait a
list.
second then. Are you trying to tell me that you're going to open up your old channel again?
No.
Oh.
But this is what I've been doing on my old channel. I want to continue this on this channel.
Okay.
But in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, we'll definitely do our favorite movies of 2018 when I have finally caught up on some of the movies in 2018.
It's going to be a while. Guys, don't be
Yeah,
surprised if it takes till February before we finally talk about 2018.
That's the thing. We do need to catch up on some movies, but I do want to do that. We actually talk about our favorite movies of the year because, hey, I did love a couple of movies this year. And surprisingly enough, I'm looking forward to some movies next year. So, yeah, I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about some of the shitty movies that I saw this year that I didn't like, that I just want to rant on because, rants are fun, especially when we had beer.
Yes, they are. They are a lot of fun when we have beer. Yes. Okay, so, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for contributing to the conversation. Please, like I said, if you like the show, tweet it out so we can build it and have more people join the conversation. And that way we can start getting some more guests on. And I know I teased one at the sort of in the middle of the show, but I want to, and I'm going to tease some more. Like literally by the time we get to March next year, I want to have sat down with Roca, Riley, and maybe have Harloff and Ellis and Nost and pretty much all the Collider crew on the show at some point. Because I'm serious. I want to fucking sit down with all these people that I have had the pleasure of meeting in person, and I want to meet new people.
You've met people of the Schmoedown? You haven't told me that like a million times.
Right? I know. But I also want to sit down with other people. I want to sit down with politicians, and I want to sit down with teachers. I want to sit down with lawyers. I want to sit down with police officers. And I just want the show to be a great conversation starter. But I alone can't make that happen.
Nope.
Because that's where you guys also have to come into play. So thank you for tuning in. And Case, where can the good folks find you online?
Well, you can find me spending a lot of time with my girlfriend over the next couple of days rather than doing actual videos. However, she will appear on a live show or a reaction or two in the next couple of weeks. So look out for that, of course. She'll be a guest. So that's at least something. We're getting a guest Hey, I don't know what she wants to bring up. What is? We'll see about that the next time that she's on. With that said, I will be on Twitter, probably, at Dutch Movie Guy. I will be on Facebook, I guess, Kees Cornelisse. I'll be on Multiplex Entertainment, competing, Fandom Movies is over for at least a little bit, so I won't be competing there, but I will be competing in Fandom TV, where I'm facing Zaddius Smith next, who is a champion of the Arrowverse realm. So he seems to know a lot of TV, so I'm probably going to just, lose, and he's going to completely annihilate me, which I'm okay with, but I'm going up against him anyway, so look out for whenever that match is going to drop. That's it, I guess.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, at Skywalker Dohmen. You guys can follow this very channel on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at D2A Channel. Please like our Facebook page. And you guys can follow my band, Silver Nightfall, all across social media at Silver Nightfall. Guys, thanks for tuning in to what is going to be our longest episode today. I promise they won't always be this long, but we just had a long conversation. And
had a fun conversation.
Exactly. And you guys were awesome enough to get involved with it. So until next time, this will probably be the last full episode of Who Cares Anyway until next year. So between now and then, I only want to wish one thing of you guys, and that is just remember, when you care about something and you're able to tell somebody why you care, you get them to care as well. So between now and then, guys, take care.
And who cares anyway?